The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light. Top it up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? Dolly back in the house again tonight. Oh, and boy, do we got some things to talk about. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Jake Harro's jailhouse interview, and I'm going to be reading that to you guys here just in a minute. We're also going to be talking about mainstream media versus online sleuth and who is going to win the battle between mainstream media and online sleuths. You're going to find out here tonight on Dolly Vision. But first, I need you to leave your DNA in your fingerprints all over that like button, just in case something happens to you and Dolly has to track you down. And if you're brand new and haven't subbed up the channel, go ahead and sub up. We're getting close to 81,000, and I can't do it without your help out there watching. So I need you tonight, if you're brand new, to sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, feel free to share my ugly face everywhere, okay, with your granny, with your pawpaw, with your auntie. It don't matter. Just share the shit all of it. And if you're super cool and not a big old lame-o, okay, no lame-os. We don't, only cool people. Share me on Facebook. But if you're a big lame, don't do it. I don't like lame people. But all my good, cool ass people that are too cool for school, I want you to share me on your Facebook. Okay, let me give my warnings before we jump into this, because we're talking about people in the legal process. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with a whole lot of comedy and chaos. So don't take nothing as fact. Just my opinion. Completely satire, people. Callers' opinions tonight are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone, and I mean everyone, even you guys watching, are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Also, the biggest one of them all, and I don't care if you break all the 10 commandments, never break this rule right here. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to be Dolly at home. It's extremely dangerous, and I'm not responsible for your death, okay? So Jake, he had some things to say today, and it kind of went along with what I was saying closely. You know, he seems like he's taken up for his wife, which in the public eye, it looks like he's trying to throw her under the bus. But in this interview, he defends his wife. He also says that he never confessed, basically, because it says he's been in a cell all by himself without nobody. Okay, without nobody. So who did he confess to? A brick wall. So now we really know the confession is bullshit. And this goes into online sleuths versus mainstream media. Okay, mainstream media has been getting it super wrong. Now, there's some online sleuths out here that have been getting it wrong too. But the mainstream media, oh my God, y'all are looking like a big ass joke. Okay, like, oh shit, we're talking big people, huge national news channels running with bullshit stories. Like, oh my God. And at the same time, you got some of these mainstream people trying to doo-doo on us YouTube people and TikTokers, of course. We got to add the TikTokers in because there's a lot of TikTokers involved in this case. So we see a lot of these people trying to crap on YouTubers. And you guys, you know what I hate the most out here? And I share this with you all the time. I hate YouTube retired detectives. I hate them, right? They were a police officer like 20 years ago or some shit like that, old as hell, and still think they're out here investigating crimes, but on the YouTube streets, and they want to tell everybody else how they should do it. Your ass is so old, you don't even know how to work an iPhone, okay? Some of these old ass detectives need to sit down, shut your ass up, and they like to shit on other YouTubers, right? Oh, these people out here causing a scene and chaos in front of the house, these YouTubers and these TikTokers. Well, let me tell you, you dumbass detectives from 30 years ago that couldn't find a stolen bike. YouTubers and TikTokers wasn't out there fighting with each other. YouTubers and TikTokers were just out there. Most of the people that were out there were not TikTokers and YouTubers. I can count the TikTokers and YouTubers on one hand, okay? On one hand. And not one TikToker or YouTuber started a fight with anybody. A neighbor came out and tried to grab a sign from a TikToker, okay? And he was cussing and he was screaming. He's local. He's not a TikToker. He's not a YouTuber. So YouTubers and TikTokers were not outside that home fighting with each other. Okay, that never happened. Now, could that a situation have been de-escalated? Of course it could have. Did people want to de-escalate that situation? I don't really think so. I don't really think so because it's some people take things as this is good entertainment, right? This is going to do good on my TikTok or YouTube, and they didn't de-escalate it. Now, I learned a lot from covering these true crime cases. The word de-escalate. Now, 3 years ago, Dolly would have rampaged and tried to fight the whole neighborhood. 3 years later, I've learned my lesson on that. I've worked on the word de-escalation. When somebody says some shit to you, like a water on a duck's ass, shake it off, keep moving. Don't pay it no mind. It will de-escalate. Them people get tired of running their mouth at themselves because what it does is it takes two people to fight. It takes two people to tango. So if you just shut up and let them run their mouth for a minute, they'll get tired and they'll eventually go in the house and shut up. And that's probably what should have been done with that neighbor. Now, some of these people that are out there, they're pretty new to these murder cases. They've been covering news stories, but really ain't been covering disappeared babies. Now, Dolly, I've been covering runaway kids and kidnapped kids and dead babies for the last 4 years. Okay, so I'm kind of a veteran at this, right? I'm kind of a veteran. I've been around the block. I've seen this, right? But I hate when people think they're better than other people or they know what other YouTubers should do, right? Because they were a cop 30 years ago. 30 years. It's a new day and age. It's a new day and era, right? Mainstream media, they got to move over, okay? Because online sleuths, online YouTubers and TikTokers are taking over. We're the first ones on the scene. We bring you the news live, the whole thing. And a lot of news organizations, they don't do that. They go out there, they shoot their spot, they get their little 6 o'clock feed, they pack their shit up, and they leave. That's just the truth. That's just the truth of the matter. When someone like me is out there for 10, 15 hours a day broadcasting this so people see everything live. They see the drama, they see the house, they see the people coming to the house, leaving the house, all these things, right? And some of these old timers, they don't seem to understand that this is a new age. You know, you have to adapt to the times. Some people are caught in their glory days of 20 years ago when they were chasing down stolen bicycles. Okay. This ain't the same time and era. It's a different time, a different place, and media is ran a different way. Okay. I like to call it guerrilla media, right? Because it's boots on the ground, it's in your face, it's live, it's broadcasting, everybody's a part of it. So I hate to see other YouTubers try to lecture how other YouTube channels should be doing things. It actually boils my blood a little bit. I'm like, listen, sometimes you listen to stuff on YouTube and you'll never get your time back. You'll never get that time back. And that's how I felt tonight listening to some of these people down other people that go out and like, we need a lesson on, oh, well, don't go near a crime scene. If you find evidence, call the police. Like, people are stupid, right? It's like some of these people think that every YouTuber out here is just a damn moron. Right now, listen, I've been around long enough to know if I see some evidence, I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to report that evidence. I'm not touching that evidence. I don't need your old ass to tell me what to do, right? I bet you one thing, you couldn't open 3 apps on your iPhone, okay? If I told you to save my number on your iPhone, you would be lost. You're from the 50s. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? This is a new day. And for the mainstream media that has been shitting on YouTubers and TikTokers, that just shows you their jealousy of what is going on. There's a new form of media. It's called alternative media. And it's huge. And it's only growing. You're going to see a lot more people, boots on the ground, in your face. More of a little bit kind of TMZ stylish, right? A little bit more TMZ in your face. We don't have bosses to answer to. While the media was out there being nice to the lawyer, you seen what DOLLY said to him. I said, you representing a baby killer. How many more monsters you got? I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I know I said a bunch of mean shit to where he ain't the damn lawyer anymore. Right? And when everybody else is filming them. But, you know, I had to throw some blows in there. You know why I can do that and they can't? Because they got a boss they have to answer to. They can't tell you you're a piece of shit. Mainstream media can't. But guess who can tell you you're a big old piece of shit? DOLLY. These TikTokers. We can tell you. We don't have anybody to answer to but our viewers. And our viewers are thinking the same things. And they want us to say these things to the people because every last one of you wish you was there to say it yourself. Okay. And this is what I don't think some of these people understand when they start bashing what's going on right now. You just don't understand. You're caught in the Stone Age, Fred Flintstone. Okay. You're caught in the damn Stone Age. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Right. Listen. Now, there is some things people will learn as they go, okay? Like they'll learn to de-escalate. They'll learn not to say too much crazy stuff at certain times. They'll know when to turn it on and they'll know when to turn it off. That comes with experience, okay? And like I said, some of the people out there may not be as experienced in dealing with missing children as some of the other ones that are out there, and some mistakes get made. But listen, everybody's human. Long as they reel that back, go, okay, I retract my statement. The baby's not dead. Okay. People make mistakes. We understand that, right? We understand that. And you fix those mistakes as soon as you can. But there's a battle going on between mainstream media and what's going on right now, right? And you know me, I have to stand up for YouTubers and TikTokers. Now, me, I'm officially getting myself legit. I've started my corporation, Dolly Vision Media Group. I will have my media passes. I will be official as media as just as any other media. And not only that, but own the corporation, right? So it was all about getting myself legal. So instead of an online sleuth, I will be an independent journalist. Okay. So, and then, you know, when I hear people talk bad about YouTubers, I'm still going to defend my YouTube brothers and sisters and TikTokers. Listen, to be honest with you, I'm not a big, huge TikTok fan. I think TikTok is for younger people. It's a crazier audience, right? You have to be extreme as hell on TikTok, right? To me, it's like the show Jackass, but on steroids for all young people that have short attention spans. Very short, like boom. I can only take my content in 2-minute spurts, and that is it, right? So me, myself, I don't mess with TikTok too much, but I don't have nothing against the sleuthing that is going on TikTok. One day, these people will move their happy asses when they get a little older onto YouTube and probably be pretty successful on YouTube, right? So the battle that's waging, we'll see Court TV in a little bit when I get into these clips talking about, you know, the battle between mainstream media and online sleuths. For most of y'all know, I did an interview with LA Times just a couple days ago. What was it? 2 days ago. And basically that whole interview was on mainstream media versus online sleuths, right? And they asked me, what did I consider myself? Am I an online sleuth or am I an independent journalist? Now, I think an online sleuth would be more somebody that sits in their desk and tries to figure out what is happening. Okay. Would you say that's a good interpretation of an online sleuth? Somebody that sits around and is on the internet and they try to come up with clues and theories on the case would be an online sleuth. Now, I think if you go out to a place and you cover the story, at that point, you are an independent journalist. Okay. Because you're broadcasting. You're putting your product out for the people to watch or to read. If you're typing up a post or if you're broadcasting live, you're doing the research, you're putting it out. You are an independent journalist. Okay. Now, some people go to school for journalism and some people don't. Okay. And some people that didn't go to school for journalism is more powerful or more better at journalism than some of the people that went to school for journalism. Now, a lot of people that own these corporations, like your TMZ and your Fox, maybe they never even went to school for journalism. They went to school for business and they started a business in media. Okay. And then those medias turned into the news because somebody has to own it, right? Somebody has to own the entity that is Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Dolly Vision Media Group, right? It's all the same. It has to start somewhere, somehow, right? So if some of these people may start off as just independent journalists and then become media, it's kind of how it floats around. And some people never had any experience in it. They just think people would think, hey, you would look good on my network. Do you want to be a news anchor? Do you want to take part in this? And some people find their way into media that never went to school for media. So the whole media aspect of all this, and with technology the way it is, where anybody can create their own media channel these days, alternative media, we live in a different time, right? We live in a different time. And it's not my place to sit around and tell old ass people that are caught in the 60s how to run their channel, okay, or what to say. But at the same time, I don't want to hear your shit suggesting how other people should do their thing and just making up shit that never happened. Now, listen, if you got your old ass up, got out your chair, jumped on a plane, flew your ass out to the desert, sat out there with the cactuses, you wouldn't be getting all this stuff wrong. You would know, right? And to me, it's like, did you ever find a stolen bike? Okay, I don't know what you was a detective of, like, but damn, get stuff right, right? Research your information. Research your information. That's all I'm saying. Now that I'm done rampaging about that, okay? Jake Harro in jail. And I told you guys, because Dolly speaks the truth. I told y'all he didn't confess. Some people like, well, they're lying. They did. They don't want to give up the information. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Police will quickly tell you when somebody confesses, right? They'll say, we got a confession. This is a slam dunk, open, closed case. We're going to make sure we get this conviction. It's a wrap, right? That ain't the case we got in the press conference that we got yesterday. We had the sheriff, district attorney saying the exact opposite of what everybody's been saying. And this is mainstream media. Mainstream media wants to give, let's just say, on the Tita a hard time, right? For getting something wrong. He got something wrong. He came out, and if you seen what was going on, you would assume that the baby was dead. He was wrong. Okay? He was wrong. Made a mistake. It looked like that. Then when I watched the video, I was like, damn, that looks like they found the baby. But there was key things I noticed that didn't look like they found the baby. There was no corner there. There was no tin up. There was nothing blocked. And I was like, okay, they didn't find the baby. I knew they didn't. But let's just say this. I've been doing this for 4 years. I don't know how long On the Tita has been doing it, but he made a simple mistake. A lot of people thought the same thing. And they reported on it. They found the baby. They found the baby. And when I said he started a shitstorm of that, is because they believed him. But it wasn't nothing to it. He made it just a simple mistake. And everybody on the internet ran with it without doing any thinking about it for themselves. They just took his word for what had happened. And then shortly afterwards, he retracted his statements and said, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. Maybe I spoke too soon. The baby's not been found. And now you got all these media companies that were shitting on him for doing that, right? Now, listen, if you do something that ain't right, I'll even say something about it. Hey, that ain't right. You need to do a little research in it, right? But when it comes from the mainstream media, that's different, because I look at these people like, hey, we're all independent. We're all on the same page doing kind of the same thing. And there ain't many of us that actually do it, right? And I'm talking about nationally. Okay. Now there's people that do local news. Like you got On the Tita. He's mostly California. You got Grizzly Hood News, which is mostly Texas. Then you have like your JLR. That dude will jump out of a bush anywhere. You got Dolly. That is everywhere, coast to coast, all over the country. The people that do what we do, you can literally count them people on one hand. But they can go at us when we make a mistake. But yet they can clearly make huge, massive mistakes, basically out here clickbaiting and lying with no research, no facts, saying shit that never even happened. Okay? Making a mistake about a baby being found and not being found is one thing. When you lie to the people, right? You're lying and you go on national TV without never hitting up the district attorney, without never calling the sheriff. When you have a media company, you have fact checkers, right? Here's one thing about us independent people. We don't have all that. So we may get a little thing wrong here, there. These big national news channels shouldn't be getting this shit wrong, right? These are the people that people trust, right? That's why I don't trust the news anymore. I'd rather get my news from On the Tita. He's there. I can watch what he's seeing live, right? You can watch what I'm showing you live and come to your own conclusions. The news, they paint a picture or they have a narrative that they're trying to push, right? And it's crazy. Okay, so Jake, I want to read this to you guys because he did give an interview today. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to do the best I can with this, guys. It's small. I had to screenshot it because they wanted me to pay to be a member of this newspaper, $6 for 2 months. And I was like, oh, hell no, nah, you ain't getting my $6. You know what I'm saying? I just spent thousands going to California back. You damn sure ain't getting my $6. All right. So Jake Harro appeared in court for his arraignment on Thursday, August 26th. at the Riverside Hall of Justice. Harro and his wife, Rebecca, were arrested Friday on suspicion of killing their son, Emmanuel Haro, who was 7 months old. The arraignment was continued to September 4th, 2025. Harro, in a jailhouse interview on August 27th, said Rebecca is innocent, but declined to talk about his own possible role in Emmanuel's disappearance. Okay. Jake Harro said in a jailhouse interview on Wednesday, August 27th, that the Riverside District Attorney assumptions that Harro's missing 7-month-old was the victim of long-term child abuse was not true at all. But Harro declined to discuss what role, if any, he played in Emmanuel's disappearance. Harro, 32, and his wife, Rebecca, 41, were charged Thursday, August 26th with murder and filed a false police report with bail set at $1 million. $1 million. Jake Harro said little else about the case in the interview with a Southern California news group reporter via video hookup at the Larry D. Smith Correctional Facility in Banning, California. All right, let me get to the next page. Harro would not say whether he led authorities to Mono Valley, Badlands. I think that's right, guys, right? To the Badlands on Sunday, August 24th, where he was spotted with investigators. He did say he had been completely cooperative with investigators. He's been completely cooperative with investigators, but hasn't confessed to killing this baby yet. I want to talk about it, but I can't, Harro said, referring to instructions from his attorney. I was told, don't do no press. That's crazy, right? Because he's doing press. He's told not to do press, but yet he's doing press. Harro wore a red jumpsuit indicating that he is segregated housing for his protection. He said he has no contact with other inmates. I repeat, he said he has no contact with other inmates. Harro sometimes wiped his face with a white cloth. His eyes appeared to be red. Harro said he attended Banning High School, where he played tight end as a linebacker on the football team. During the 45-minute interview, Harro said the couple cares about Emmanuel. They attempted to schedule several appointments to inoculate the boy, but one, hold on, next page. Okay, I don't know. It jumped from that. I don't know. I had to screenshot it because I didn't want to pay the $6. So we're going to do the best we can. Harro said he accidentally dropped his baby daughter, Caroline, on a sink divider while bathing her, but she appeared uninjured. However, the girl was later found to have broken bones, other serious injuries after Harro's wife. Broken bones and other serious injuries after Harro's wife at the time, Vanessa, woke him up in the middle of the night. She is now bedridden, the district attorney said on Wednesday. Both the husband and the wife made plea deals with the judge over the objection of the district attorney's office. He received 180 days in the sheriff's work release program and was handed a suspended 4-year prison sentence in order to attend child abuse treatment program. Jake Harro said Wednesday that the sentence was fair. I bet he does think it's fair that he got no jail time. And I do know the judge's name that released him too. And we're going to go over that in a minute. He said he wanted to take the case to trial, but I plead guilty because I didn't have the money to go to trial, is what he says. I didn't have the money to go to trial. The judge said nobody would believe my side of the story. Judges don't tell you that. Okay. So right there, I believe that's a lie. He said he took it to trial because he took the plea because he didn't have the money to go to trial. And the judge told him nobody would believe his side of the story. Now, your defendant, the person defending you, your lawyer might tell you, hey, nobody's going to believe your story, but a judge don't tell you nobody's going to believe your story. That's false. Somehow they magically convinced me to take this damn plea deal. I was sick of court. The judge knows I didn't do it. They just railroaded me. I was a fall guy. Okay, so he don't even want to take responsibility for what he did to his own daughter. Okay, he's kind of saying he was innocent. It's an accident. They knew I was, but they railroaded me into this plea deal. Harro was hopeful on Wednesday that enough money could be raised, 10% of the bail, to free Rebecca, who he wed 3 years ago. Okay, so he wants people to raise the money. Anybody got any money to get Rebecca out? Okay, anybody got 5 on it? Anybody want to donate to the cause to get Rebecca out of jail? Just 10%. What is that? $100,000. Anybody got $100,000 to get this girl out of jail? Anybody want to get her out? Maybe we could chip in. Everybody want to chip in, get her out. She looks innocent to me. I'm playing. Nobody get this woman out of jail. She is the devil. Okay, she's guilty as hell, just as guilty as him. Nobody get her out. He says Rebecca is innocent. Harro said the media is killing her. She is a beautiful woman. She loved her kids. Well, her children is what it says. She is being held at the Robert Presley Detention Center. On Tuesday, after Harro appeared in court, separated from one another, Jake Harro said he encountered her after getting off the elevator. So they've seen each other, right? He was getting off the elevator and he's seen his wife. I tried to shout to her, "I love you," Harro said. The deputy shoved me to the ground. He launched me like I was a rag doll, Harro said. He re-injured a shoulder. Now, we know these people are so happy. They're like the biggest slip and fall couple on the planet. You know, boop, lawsuit, right? So, you know, she walks in, spills the water. He walks in and falls on it. So, he's basically saying that the deputies hurt him because he was screaming to his wife, "I love you," right? The sheriff's department on Wednesday declined to comment on that account. I bet they did. They should have slammed him and dropped a knee on his ass. Okay, and that's pretty much the interview that he gave with the authorities. Okay, that is pretty much the interview he gave with the authorities. And to me, what a piece of shit. I mean, listen, this is the difference between online sleuths and the media. They can't say that Jake is a piece of shit, but I can. He is a monster. He is horrible. He's still not even taking responsibility for what he did to his daughter. And this girl had a fractured skull, broken ribs. Now, he said he dropped her on the sink and hurt her accidentally. Well, then why was her ribs healing from a previous break? And this little girl was only 10 weeks old. Okay, 10 weeks old. Insane. You know, usually at 10 weeks old, when my daughter was a baby, I didn't give her a bath. Her mother gave her a bath all the time. It's her baby. She gave her a bath. I never had the opportunity to give her a bath like that. So her mother gave her a bath. And, for this kid to be healing from previously broken ribs, what, he drop her at 5 weeks? So he was abusing this baby from the time. I don't know if he got paid. I seen, did he get paid to do this interview? I hope not. I would hope that no credible media source out here would pay these people. But there's some people out here that would pay them. That would pay them for the news because, we're all interested in this case and it brings a lot of attention. So, yeah, of course, some of these big media groups have a lot of money. Okay. So did they get paid? I can't say they didn't, but he gave this interview for some reason. And I'm sure a lot of news channels that hit him up and said, "Hey, will you give us an interview? Will you give us an interview?" And he ain't on everything. He's only on this one. So these people might have hit him up and said, "Hey, we'll put $1,000 on your books. We'll put money on your canteen and money on your wife's canteen if you do this interview." Just like if we wanted to interview him, we'd write him and say, "Hey, I'll pay you. These other news channels ain't paying you, and I will, and I'll make sure that you get money on your book and your wife's books, but you're going to come up here and talk to me." And I guarantee you he would. You know why? Because he's sitting in jail broke. Potato chips, snacks, canteen, deodorant, nothing in there is free. So it costs you. And if you don't have nothing, the only thing they give you is once a month, they give you 4 envelopes. They give you a notepad and a pen. That's it. That's all you get. Every month they'll do that if you don't have no money on your books. If you are absolutely like homeless broke, they will give you 4 envelopes a month, a pen. Well, envelopes with a stamp. It has a stamp. It's a stamp addressed envelope ready to go. So you can write a letter and you get 4 of those a month. So I wouldn't doubt that they paid him. And of course, they don't want him having any communication with his wife. That is insane to even think. Okay. Now we're going to listen to a news report of basically what I just read out to you guys, but from the media. All right. I'm going to pull this video up so we can watch it together. But it's just going over the exact same things I just read to you guys. All right.
Emmanuel in the Inland Empire, this roughly 2 weeks after he was reported missing. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu and wherever you stream. I'm David Ono.
And I'm Giovanna Latta. Now the baby's father is speaking out from his jail cell. Investigators claiming the baby died from child abuse, even though no remains have been found.
A search off Highway 60 turned up nothing. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Waters has been following the case from the beginning and now joins us live. Leticia.
Well, David and Giovanna, Jake Harro is speaking publicly for the first time since his arrest last week in a jailhouse interview with the Southern California News Group. But in that interview, he would not say what part, if any, he played in his son's disappearance. The search for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro continues as his parents Jake and Rebecca Haro sit in jail charged with his murder.
Baby Emmanuel was abused, victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
Yesterday, San Bernardino and Riverside County law enforcement briefed the public on the case. On the same day, Jake Haro gave a jailhouse interview to the Southern California News Group, denying Emmanuel was abused. He acknowledged the public's outrage, saying, "God is with us. The allegations are horrendous, so of course people are going to be riled up." But investigators say Emmanuel's August 14th abduction from a Yucaipa parking lot was fabricated.
There's a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests that the initial story posed.
Okay, I want to say this for the person just came in here trying to tell me how to run my channel. You're blocked. That'll be the last time you say something how to run my channel. Okay. Didn't I just tell, I started my show with YouTubers trying to tell other YouTubers how to run their channels, right? Listen, I'm a grown ass man. I do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. You know, that's the good part of being a grown ass man. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You know, the reason I'm my own boss, I started my own corporation, is because I don't listen to nobody but myself. All right. So don't come in here worrying me about other channels and what I put in my title. And of course, this is news. This is brand new. This interview just came out. Okay. So don't tell me how to title my video. Don't tell me how to run my show. Don't do any of those things unless you are absolutely trying to be blocked from here. Okay. Because I have zero tolerance for that. Just bye. If you don't like what's going on here, okay, if you don't like what we're discussing, I didn't come to your house, turn on your computer, and make you watch me. All right. You came on to this stream. All right. You came on here and then you don't like what you see. Kick rocks. Okay. Don't let the good door hit you where the good Lord splits you. Like, I don't twist anybody's arm. I just bring you guys straight up the facts of what is going on. And if you can't handle that, then you don't belong here. But everybody else, I love you guys and thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to the news. Thank you for putting up with my shit. Okay. You guys are great. I love each and every one of you. But listen, I don't tell y'all what to do. Okay. I don't tell y'all what to do. You ever see me going, hey, let me see who's in the chat. Alan to you. Stop playing YouTube cop. Yes, yeah, exactly. Stop trying to backseat drive from the chat room is what it is. Right? Sit back and enjoy the show. If you don't like the show and you ain't enjoying it, Look, there's 20 billion people on YouTube. There's so many people I couldn't even name them all. Go watch somebody else. All right. I didn't force you. Right. And here's what I hate even more. Okay. I got to get this off my chest. When people be like, Dolly, I'm leaving. This ain't an airport. You ain't got to announce your departure. Okay. You didn't tell me when you got here. You ain't got to tell me when you're leaving. Okay. That's the thing. I don't give a damn. Bye. See you next time. Right. What do you want from me? What do you want? I can't stand that. I'm leaving. It reminds me of the movie. What is it? Half Baked, when the dude works in the record store and he starts raging and he quits and he's like, who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? And then the one girl's like, I'll go with you. And he thinks the whole store is going to quit, but it's just him and the one girl that quit together and they leave. It kind of reminds me of that when you announce your departure, like 50 people going to be like, you know what? I'm coming with you too. That ain't how it works. It's just you. All right. So carry your ass.
Was not the correct story.
Following their arrest, it appeared investigators were closing in on Emmanuel's remains when Jake Haro accompanied deputies with cadaver dogs to a remote area off the 60 freeway just east of Moreno Valley. But that search yielded nothing.
So was that just him just trying to divert the attention as to where he really went?
Moses Castillo is a private investigator and a retired LAPD detective. He says without Emmanuel's body, prosecutors may face challenges.
One of the charges that I hope that they consider adding is child abuse causing death. But the reason why it's so important to have that charge.
Listen, here's another former detective. Former, that's the key word, former detective. Can we get an actual detective? Listen, why does all the news channels call former detectives from 30 years ago? All right, when the Flintstones, they were investigating Barney Rubble. Can we get somebody from this decade? At least that was a cop a fucking week ago? Why does it got to be somebody that was a cop 20 years ago? 20 years ago? Listen, I don't give a damn what this dude says. He ain't a cop now. The key word is former. If we want to hear from the police, I want to hear from an actual fucking police. Not some dude that's like, yeah, I'm going to be on the news tonight. I'm a former detective from 75 years ago. It's insane, right? They all display their badges. It's the same thing, no matter which one of these old retired, need to be in a home ass detectives they bring on TV. I can't stand it. It's like when Court TV brings up their experts. What were they, experts in the 70s? Okay, what expert in the hell? Get the man a walker.
Is that without a body, you're not going to get a true cause of death or manner of death.
This is 2025. I just went to court and watched him convict a man with no body, no evidence. He was convicted in 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes. What the hell? That's what I'm saying. Well, they're going to have a hard time convicting. It ain't hard. I watched it. Anybody remember when I went to the Corey Bixby trial for Cody Bixby? It literally took the jury 30 minutes with nobody, no evidence. He had one son that said they tried to wake up Cody and Cody wouldn't wake up. That's it. That's all they had. Nothing. Even me, I was sitting there thinking, they have zero evidence on this man. Zero. They just have a statement from a kid. That's it. A little kid, 7 years old. They couldn't even bring him in the courtroom. They had to take him in the back of the court and show it on video monitor because he was so young. And I was thinking, that's all they really got? Conviction, 30 minutes. You didn't even have time to go to the bathroom. They convicted his ass so fast. You don't got to have a body anymore. You don't got to have it. Circumstantial evidence will convict you. His prior record, when a jury listens to what he did to his daughter, you can have him in there for anything. They're going to find him guilty. Anything. A jury is going to find him guilty of anything. You can say he robbed 37 banks, kicked the old lady in the face, smacked the baby, killed a donkey, slapped a midget. Guilty in 30 because his previous charges are so bad that soon as people see him, all they're going to see is a monster. Okay. This conviction will be so fast that you won't even be able to fucking take a break. You won't be able to walk outside and log on to check your Facebook before the jury is back and convicts him of killing his baby. All right. This is 2025. This is a new day, a new era. And some of these people it just blows my mind. Have they ever sat through a criminal trial? Have they ever sat there? Have they ever done it? Like, I think if you're going to talk about it, be about it. I go by the rules of Ric Flair. You're going to walk the walk. You talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. I don't just go search for these people. I don't just go cover these cases. I go sit in on the trials too. So I do every inch of it, every piece of it. And that's where my knowledge comes from life experiences. This ain't some shit that I'm just talking out my ass. This is shit that I've been there, done that, got the trophy on the wall. Okay. True story. True story.
The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is leading the investigation with Riverside County. Their goal, justice for baby Emmanuel.
A no-body homicide is always difficult, but it's a little different when you're talking about an infant.
Now, both the Harros will be back in court next Thursday. They're being held on $1 million bail. Their arraignment is set for that Thursday, in which they'll be formally charged with those. They had to be postponed from Tuesday because they did not have an attorney yet. Reporting live here in Riverside, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Leticia, thank you.
Okay. Now, I want to pull up my email real quick because I have the judge's name that allegedly let these people out of jail. Let me pull it up real quick. I was reading it earlier. Okay. Judge George C. Hernandez was the judge that sentenced him to 1 day in jail, allegedly. Okay. Now, this is allegedly. This information was sent to me by a viewer saying this is a judge, Dolly, that let this man go. This dude should not be a damn judge. Okay. He shouldn't try over a traffic ticket. All right. I don't know what the hell this man smoked before he walked in the courtroom. Where he came from. Apparently he was a judge from a different county that was filling in for a judge that was absent. Y'all remember that? That came out yesterday too. So he was a fill-in judge, and he made the hugest error ever, right? Oh my God, you let somebody hurt a child and didn't put him in jail. He's retired now. Oh my God. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. God, what a terrible judge. I hope somebody kicks this damn walker out from under him. I swear. I don't wish hateful things on people. I don't, but I hope karma bites him right in the ass. Okay. Right there, gets him hard, like a pit bull karma. Right? Like, dude, this would have never happened. You know, honestly, Emmanuel would have never been born. And he probably, or she would have had him with a different father and he would be fine. Right? He would have never been born if he would be in prison. So not only did this man take Emmanuel's life, he took his daughter's life too. She's alive. She's bedridden, brain damage, very limited in function. So her life, she will never have a life, a normal life, not what we consider life. So he didn't just take one life. He took 2 lives. Okay. He took 2 lives, and he took a life, and this man let him go. He should have got 100 years in prison for what he did to that little girl. When you look at it and they go, well, they gave him 4 years suspended. What is 4 years? What the hell is 4 years? If they would have gave him 4 years in prison, it wouldn't have been enough. Okay. It wouldn't have been enough. I'd be sitting here, only 4 years. Only 4 years. This man should have had 25 years, 30 years. He should have got out of jail as an old ass gray haired man that couldn't hurt nobody but a cup of applesauce. Okay. And the only thing he could damage is some applesauce at that point. He should never been free. And for this judge to do that, oh my God. Just what is wrong with the justice system, right? What is wrong with California? Listen, the people there in California, everybody I met, I ain't gonna lie, were great people, good people, caring community. But y'all's legal system there, this whole catch and release thing that they got going on, and the lawlessness and homeless people just pissing all over the streets, y'all got to clean that up, right? Y'all, California, y'all got to do better. You really do. And it ain't the people, it's the leaders of your states that y'all need to fire and get rid of and get better people that represent you in there, or things like this are going to continue to happen. I mean, what a shitty judge. What a shitty judge. Now, the police, the district attorney, they seem like good people. They seem like they're doing a good job. They have a little bit of problem with alternative media because some people, not everybody, I'm sure that their attack wasn't on me. So whatever they said, I never took nothing personal because I believe I went out there, I handled myself in a nice, professional, well-mannered. And I had to learn. Listen, I was a little wild when I first started showing up to murder scenes too. But over time, I learned, hey, people don't want you wild. They want you to conduct yourself in a professional, good manner, be helpful, be considerate, be nice to the people that are out there. And that's exactly what I did. So many people is like, Dolly, I can't believe the difference from California to Georgia. You handle yourself so professionally and so nice and so generous and so good to the people out there. Yeah, I've learned over the 4 years that, hey, that wild shit ain't what people want. And it'll bring you attention, but it won't bring you good attention. It'll bring you bad attention, right? Because listen, when you're the squeaky wheel always gets the oil, right? We know that, but you don't want to be the squeaky wheel, right? You may in the beginning when nobody knows who you are and you're trying to get a name, but then some people are just going to think you're an idiot. They're going to think you're an idiot. They're going to think you're super unprofessional. They're going to think that you went down there and all you did was cause problems. You didn't help the situation. You made the situation worse. So when one person, it only takes one person to act up and it makes everybody involved look bad. Because when these people up here saying, well, these TikTokers and these YouTubers, listen, I'm a YouTuber. When they say these things and that, oh, we don't want these people in the way or tampering with crime scenes or doing this, I didn't do any of that. But yet I still fall under that category with these people because I was out there. It kind of makes my name look bad, like I was involved in something bad when I wasn't. I went out there and spread positivity and hope, and it just didn't end good, right? We knew it wasn't going to end good. We all knew that. We all knew they did this and they were going to go to jail. The world wanted to see them go to jail. Somebody has to deliver that to you. Okay. Either it's going to be mainstream media or it's going to be alternative media. Somebody is going to be there, right? Because there's so much interest in the moment, the look on their face when they go to jail. Everybody wants to see it. And we got to see that. We got to see everything firsthand. And the whole thing goes into that this is a new day. This is a new era. Media is different than what media was years ago. Okay. What it was years ago. And alternative media sources are only growing. And I think some of these mainstream media people that give us such a hard time, they look at us as competition. They look at us like competition. But here's the thing, guys, this is about missing kids. This ain't a competition. Now, the local news reporters out there in Cabazon, they were all super great, right? The dude from LA Times, the guy from News 7, News 3, the dude from News 3 was really cool. The dude, crazy guy with the crooked eye, he was a really cool guy. On the Tita, he's a good guy. He's just a little wild and amped up when he's on camera. But for the most part, he seems like a pretty good, decent person, you know, out there. And he worked hard, you know, getting this stuff, and especially with him being sick. So, you know, nothing but respect for that. Here's my thing about that. I think he's fresh. right? In the true crime sector of it. Not so much the reporting. He got the reporting stuff down, you know, the on camera stuff down. It's the de-escalation parts, right? And you know, TikTok is a little more extreme. I get it. You got these young people want a little bit of craziness. I get it. But I think over time he'll learn from this, because you know the police basically told him to go rest, and they didn't want him covering the case anymore, right? But if he would have just calmed down a little bit, right, just a little bit, I don't think he would have got that same response. And I think the attack that the police were given wasn't on everybody. It was basically directed towards him, because people looked at him like he was the flag person for this. He was the one out there leading the charge. But really, we're independent. None of us really work together, but we're all kind of there, right? So he took that attack real personally. And I don't blame him. I would have too, because they didn't say his name, but they directed that shit right at him, right? Like, you the one, you know what I'm saying? You the one. And that wasn't necessary. They could have been a little more general about it, you know, of these creators. And they made sure that they thanked the real media that's been out here getting shit wrong. Okay. To me, thank everybody that has tried to help. The people that came out there to support, the people that came out there to broadcast. They could have just thanked everybody. Listen, we got him in jail. Thank you guys. We're going to continue to search. We don't want the public interfering because it could contaminate the crime scene. You guys have done enough. It's our turn to take over. Put the charges against them. Build the case. You guys relax. We got this, right? They could have been respectful. But they didn't choose to do that. They took shots. And I don't know why. They had to take shots. Because sometimes, you know, things get out that they don't want to get out. Maybe they didn't want the public to know that they were searching places with Jake. Okay. And now you got on the Tita live on the scene with the dude in the red jumper. It's kind of hard to hide that now, right? That the whole world's seen it. And it may have pissed them off because some of these things they may not have won out. But listen, he has every right to film whatever he wants to film in public. Okay. You can't tell somebody not to film, right? You ever watch those police auditors that just go to the post office and they film the police and they're like, yeah, look, I'm using my Fourth Amendment right. I can, you know, it's protected. Anything in public, in sight, you can film, right? I don't know why they got so mad at him. Did he do something so bad that they needed to publicly take shots at him? I don't think he did. I mean, he's a little wild. He's a little riled up. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit different, fool, homie, and shit, right? But it's a new day and age. They're used to people reporting the news that have sticks stuck up their butt. Just like CrimeCon. That's what they want. They want all these good, born ass people. But the world, they don't want that. Okay. They want a little bit of wow. They want to look how many subscribers Dolly got. 80,000. You know what? I'm crazy. People like my crazy. I'm the good kind of crazy, not the bad kind of crazy. That dude is wild. People like his wildness, his unfilteredness about him. People like it. It's real. Okay. Just like Dolly's real. And I'm one of these people, real always recognizes real. This dude basically has spent a lot of time in prison. Okay. On the Tita, 22 years. God, that is a long damn time. Damn. I don't know what he did. I didn't get that far, but I heard he did 22 years in prison, has turned his life around. Of course, he's battling cancer and he's out there fighting for these kids. That's honorable. That is, I don't know what he did in his past. I couldn't tell you. I ain't going to speak on that because I don't know. I just know he did a lot of prison time. And everybody has the right to try to turn their life around and do better, right? I ain't always been a great guy myself. Now, I ain't never been in prison for 22 damn years. But listen, I've made plenty of mistakes. I'm trying to do better myself. Every day, I try to be a little bit better than I was yesterday. So, It took everybody, I think, the people out there in the streets, the people reporting it, the people broadcasting it, to put this pressure where the police had to do something. They had to make that arrest. They had to. They didn't charge him with, murder at first. They charged him with suspicion of murder. They wanted to end what was going on out there. Pressure. That's one good thing that YouTube, TikTokers, and everybody has done that I think is good. No matter if they do some stupid shit or not, is they put that pressure. They brought eyes on the case, eyes on the police, and the police had to do something. They had to react. And now for these dumbass former detectives, YouTube cops, okay, talking about, well, these YouTubers out there. One, the guy's a TikToker, okay? Get it right when you say it. It wasn't a YouTuber, it was a TikToker. Out there causing problems, and the police have to be called. It takes away from the investigation. No, it don't. Detectives investigate. Beat cops, pull you over and give you a ticket for no blinker, okay? When they called the police, that saved one person in California a speeding ticket, okay? Because they wasn't there to pull your ass over because they had to go stop that people. And it wasn't a fight. They're out there, they're fighting. A fight is a physical altercation. There was no blows ever thrown out there. It was an argument. Okay? If you're going to report it, report the facts. They were out there arguing. They wasn't fighting. Nobody punched anybody. Nobody kicked anybody. Nobody threw any dirt in the eyes. Nobody did the Mo, Larry, or Curly. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. They said a few words to each other. A few F this, MF that, F you, you ugly, your mama's ugly. And boom, that was it. Sprayed a water hose. And it's back to regular broadcasting schedule, right? That was it. So to be like, this is they want to say that all these people out there caused a shit show. Let me tell you this. Them people out there were beautiful, good people that wanted justice for that baby. Okay? That's it. Them people wasn't doing nothing wrong. Now, some people that showed up drunk, we seen it. Remember the drunk guy? The Latino guy showed up all hammered. I mean, he was effed up from the floor up, right? He walking up to the door, walking up there, stole their CDs, walking around, just strolling around the yard like it won't nothing. Now that's bad, okay? But that's locals. That ain't somebody that's the locals. That's how the locals be. They be getting down. They party, I guess, They hanging out, drinking beer, rescuing cats and shit. The crazy dude and them, they rescued a cat right before they stole the CDs. So they did some good. they rescued a little innocent animal, and then they went and stole their CDs. That's California. Okay, that's California. But if you go report it honestly. Report it honestly. And of course, there was people walking, curiosity seekers, I guess is what you would call them. Not TikTokers, not YouTubers, just curiosity seekers, that were walking up on the side of the fence or watching the house. And sometimes when you get a large group together, group mentality kind of takes over and kind of people just go with the group. And then sometimes you got maybe an idiot leading the group, but no real bad intentions, just curiosity, right? But curiosity did kill the cat. Okay, it did kill a cat. So a lot of these people are just curious of things and, taking pictures. But all in all, I've seen a lot crazier. Okay, I've seen a lot crazy. Georgia, a hell of a lot crazy. There was a clown at Georgia. Y'all remember the clown? Anybody remember the fucking clown showing up? I mean, a full dressed a clown with making balloon animals and shit. Anybody remember that? Raise your hand in the chat if you remember the clown. Anybody remember the clown? It was right after I got out of jail. They had the damn clown out in front of the house heckling protesters. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? California didn't have no clowns, right? They didn't have no clowns. There wasn't a bunch of people went to jail. They didn't have Wanda Boatwright, okay? Y'all, they wanted some chaos. You take Wanda Boatwright from Georgia out to California, and she would have kicked the door down, drugged them out the house, and arrested them herself, okay? California didn't have no Wanda Boatwrights. They didn't have women out there smoking meth, and fucking 10 teeth amongst all of them. Right? They didn't have none of that, right? They didn't have the lady with the dogs and a bullhorn screaming, "Your mama sucks." They didn't have none of that, right? They didn't have none of that. So the people to say this is a shit show, it was a circus, you must never been to a real shit show or a real circus, right? Yes, the clown was creepy, right? You can't make it up, right? They didn't have Dolly in a turtle mask, right? They didn't have none of the craziness, right? And I was on my best behavior this time, best behavior. No mask, no signs, no craziness, just calm, collective. Let's cover the story, right? So when I hear these people kind of act like it was a Savannah kind of case, it blows my mind. They haven't seen a real shit show. They haven't seen one. Right? They haven't been in the trenches. Okay. They're not veterans to the game, right? You can't do nothing that's going to surprise me. I done been there, seen it all, right? Babies in the dumpster, clowns, fucking crazy people trying to really fighting in the street, people, neighbors out there with bats, right? Slinging French fry. I've seen it all. I've seen, like, you can't surprise me, right? So I'm not brand new to this at all. Like, I didn't earn my stripes. Like, if this was martial arts, I'd be a black belt and covering missing kid cases. Okay, like a ninja out there, right? So Quentin Simon was Savannah, Georgia. There wasn't no ghost. Did y'all see any ghosts in California? Damn, Quentin Simon's ghost was in Georgia. We had ghosts, we had clowns, we that shit was a full-blown sideshow, okay? Full-blown. There was bearded women out there. I ain't lying. There was some bearded women out there. We had everything. The tall man, you name it, it was there. Baby ghost chased her. That's right. That's what I'm saying. So this was peaceful. This was pretty calm. One little incident of a TikToker arguing with a neighbor, it was nothing, right? That was nothing. We had, it ain't even the same. So I want to jump into Court TV covering this case, a little bit of information. And of course, one of the guests they had up here tonight was On the Tita, okay? The guy that led the charge and all this. Like I said, his couple mistakes wasn't that bad. I've seen way worse. Okay, way worse. He made a couple mistakes and he admitted that he made a couple mistakes, that he probably could have did better, right? It happens. Listen, in Georgia, I made mistakes. But you know what I did? I learned from those mistakes. I went my ass to jail in Georgia. Okay, I was sitting up in jail with no bond, fighting with people outside the house. Went to jail, no bond, but you know, Dolly got friends in low places and high places. So they kicked me out of jail. They kicked me out of jail. Have you ever been kicked out of jail? Anybody ever got kicked out of jail? You ever been in jail with no bond? And they go, "Hey dude, you got to get out. Like, you can't stay here." Right. And they just told me I had no bond. You got no bond. You're not going to court till Monday. And it's a Friday. I think it was a Thursday. Was it a Thursday? I think it was a Thursday. It's either Thursday or Friday. But I think they said you're not going to court till Monday. It must have been Friday that I was in jail, right? And I said, no bond. They was like, yeah, no bond. Because Georgia is not like Virginia. You don't have a magistrate. Here in Virginia, if you get charged with something, you go in front of an active judge. They call it a magistrate. And it's 24 hours a day. So it don't matter if you go to jail at 3 o'clock in the morning. They take you right in front of that magistrate. The magistrate says, what did you do? Why'd you do it? Are you going to show up for court? And if you say, yeah, and they believe you, they'll give you a bond. Now, it may be a $25,000 bond. It may be a PR bond, but it don't matter what time of night. I could go to jail right now and be out in 15 minutes because I go right in front of the judge right there. As soon as they take you in, they take you to that person, which is the magistrate. Same in North Carolina, right? But Georgia don't operate like that. Georgia, you go in front of the judge to get a bond. So I was sitting there and they're telling me no bond. And I'm sitting in there in the cell with some gangbangers from Savannah. I'm like, man, y'all ain't got no magistrates and shit. They're like, nah, man, you go to court Monday. So I already knew I wasn't getting a bond. But then, of course, when they got out to fingerprint me, process me, they told me you're being held with no bond. I'm like, what? No bond. I was all surprised, but I knew I didn't have no bond before they even told me. But you know, it was still heartbreaking to hear it in the flesh. You know, when somebody goes, "Look, bro, you ain't getting out. You got no bond. Go dress out." So they take me, and here's the crazy thing: the colors in Savannah are green, like a turtle outfit, right? So you know, I am the leader of the turtle gang, and now they got me dressed all in green. So at least I'm thinking, okay, at least they got my color right. They got my color right. It's green. So I go dress out, and you know, they throw me back in the cell with the gang banging dude. They were bloods from Savannah. And I've been sitting in there shooting the shit with these dudes, right? They're like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from Virginia. I came down here." And they were like, "Oh, you been out here raising hell?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit, just a little tiny bit and shit," right? So next thing I know, the dude that told me to change clothes comes back to the cell. He goes, "Hey man, I need you to go put your clothes back on. You got to get out. You made bail." "No, you got bail," is what he said. "You got bail." And I said, "Well, can I pay it now?" He said, "No, it's already been posted." And it went from no bond to you got bail and it's already been paid in a matter of, it's like a couple minutes. I was like, I've never seen this happen ever. Right. And so he takes me out the cell. Now I go back in there into the showers, put my street clothes back on. Okay. And at this point, he walks me over to the desk where you got to be processed and fingerprinted, right? Out. So I'm sitting there. I go in and he tells the lady, "Hey, you need to process him. Get him out here quickly. The captain wants him released immediately." And she said, "Well, I got a few people in front of him." He says, "No, you got to do it now." He got to skip. So I skipped the line, right, of people being processed. He got to go now, is what the dude told her. So I sit down in a chair and, you know, she's asking my name and all this information. And at this point, I look at this lady and go, "Am I on the news?" And she don't know what I'm in there for. And she says, "Why would you be on the news?" And they got a TV sitting right in the corner, right? I look over, and I ain't no lie. They took my mugshot 5 minutes before this, right? 5 minutes before this. I look over on the TV, the news is on, showing my mugshot, talking about YouTuber arrested in Savannah, right? I'm like, oh my God, it hit the news in 5 minutes. 5 minutes is how fast. They must have been waiting like sharks for that mugshot to hit. 5 minutes later, I look over and I'm on it. Because I asked her, I said, "I'm on the news." And she's like, "Why would you be on the news?" And I was looking over, and then I seen the news. I was like, damn, right? And she goes, "Who do you know?" And you know that by this point, I know I'm getting out. And I'm like, "Oh, I know everybody," right? I'm being all big head, like, shit, who don't I know? All right, I know everybody. I don't really know what the hell is going on, but I'm playing it off like, you know, I'm all that, right? I'm like, yeah, I be knowing people. Y'all want to, you know, saying. So the lady's fingerprinting me, and she's like, "You one of those blogger dudes, ain't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You've been covering the Leilani Simon case?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, look, when she gets here, I'll make sure she gets a warm welcome." And this is a big ass black lady, right? She's like, "And don't worry." She's like, "Keep doing what you're doing. She'll be here soon." That's what the lady told me, right? So then, of course, I walk out to jail. There's fucking media. It's also in the intro of my video. That is me getting out of jail when I'm waving in the beginning, in the intro. That is me walking out of Savannah jail. They had all the guards lined up down the fence, right? The captain of the jail, the guy that let me out. But this is how I got out. There was a lady, a millionaire lady down in Georgia. She owns the Blonde Bombshell Bail Agency. Okay. She's a bondsman, but she's like a millionaire. And all her shit is Barbie pink, like the whole building's Barbie pink. She has these. So I find out once I get out of jail that some millionaire lady bailed me out of jail that knows the dude at the jail. And she called him personally and said, "Let him out." And he let me out. I was like, damn, right? I was like, this must be some powerful woman. So they call me when I get out of jail, and they're like, "Hey, we got you out of jail." They were like, "We want one thing from you." And I'm thinking, okay. They were like, "We want you to come to the office and take a picture with Ruby. I'm like, I'll take a fucking picture with whoever you want. Thanks for getting me out of jail. No problem. You want some selfies, autographs, what you want? I'll be there, right? So I show up at this bond agency and I walk in and they lock the door. I'm thinking, why the hell they locking the door? I just got out of jail. Y'all got me out, right? I'm thinking I'm going back to jail, right? Because when I walk in, they lock the door behind me. And it's bright pink, right? I mean, like a Barbie house. The whole bond agency. Anybody from Savannah in here? Anybody? This shit is bright pink. It is fluffy chairs. It looks like Barbie's dream home, okay? In the office, right? And they were like, oh, we just got to lock the door because we're going to let Ruby out. I was like, huh? Right? Because I thought I was going to jail. And Ruby is a Georgia bulldog. I guess she paid like $10,000 for this dog. And she wanted me to take a selfie with Ruby, the dog. That's why they got me out of jail. And you cannot make this shit up, right? So I'm sitting in this big ass Barbie chair, holding this big ass dog with a diamond chain on, real diamonds. I mean, diamonds on this dog, right? This Georgia bulldog. And me, I'm like, I look like, I would love to see that picture. I'd never seen the picture. I would love to see the look on my face because I was just like, what the hell is going on, right? So I'm just holding this bulldog. They take the picture. They're like, all right, Dolly. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this shit's crazy. So I leave, right? I just went in and took a picture with the dog. Never even met the lady. Never even met her. Never even talked to her. And they just told me, they were like, yeah, we've been watching your live and we didn't think you deserved to go to jail. So we got you out. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. Right. The mascot for Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah, I know that. Right. But you got somebody out of jail so they could take a selfie with your dog. You know, you rich when you can do some shit like that. The woman lives in a mansion and drives a Bentley. Okay. I looked her up online and I was like, oh, this woman is filthy rich. The lady that got me out. And I later on talked to her, told her thank you. And they told me when I was back down in Georgia to come by and get a shirt. They got their shirt says jail sucks. They were like, we got a shirt for you. Next time you're down, make sure you stop by, say hello and pick up your shirt. I never did get that shirt. Right. But she told me what lawyer to get when I was talking to her. She said, look, this is the lawyer you need to get. I done called him and told him you'll be calling him and you won't do a day in jail. And I was like, all right. I called the guy. I never even went to court. Never even went to court. Never had to go to court. I paid this dude on the phone in payments. He took payments and I never had to go to court. All I had to do for all that stuff in Georgia was go take a picture with a damn dog. Okay. That was crazy. That was the craziest experience like ever. So nothing to me will add up to that event. Okay. It was crazy. Now let's jump into this video. Court TV, media versus blogger. The stuff that's going on in the case with Jake and Rebecca Haro. I think it's a pretty easy case. Now it may be a little bit harder to convict Rebecca, I think, because of the battered woman thing. All right, because they're going to argue that for sure. Right? They're going to argue that for sure. So I think it's going to be a little bit harder to convict her. Let's jump over to Vinny.
Parents reported him abducted, but now mom and dad are locked up and we're learning a lot more about the investigation. Here's the story. The disappearance of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro in Riverside County, California has shaken the community to its core. At first, his parents, Rebecca and Jake, pleaded for help, claiming their infant son had vanished without a trace, taken by a man who said the word hola and then knocked out Emmanuel's mother. But as investigators dug deeper, troubling contradictions surfaced, unraveling a chilling reality. Authorities believe Emmanuel's parents, the very people meant to nurture and protect him, are responsible for his disappearance. The search for Emmanuel has become a desperate mission fueled by both hope and grief. A child so young, so vulnerable, ripped from safety under the most unthinkable circumstances. And prosecutors say it was his own.
I said Ola. I didn't say aloha that time. Did I? I think I said Ola. Or did I say aloha? I don't know.
Mother and father who are responsible for this horrific act.
And the search for Emmanuel has not ended. They still have not recovered this little boy, despite the fact that mom and dad have been charged. And there was an interesting development when we spotted the defendant, one of the defendants, Jake Harro, with detectives and a search crew on the side of the 60 freeway. And at that point, there was a lot of hope that Emmanuel would be found. But there's also a lot of mystery surrounding this particular search. A lot of mystery. Let's bring in Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who joins us live from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office. He's been on the ground there following the story. Matt, great to see you. Did they ever explain why they searched that specific area? What was the basis of that search?
Some level of cooperation. That was the quote from the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. They're leading the charge here. In less than 24 hours after Jake and Rebecca Haro were officially charged and appeared in court for the very first time on those murder charges and also falsifying a police report, there was a huge...
Damn, he has a terrible buzz on his microphone, okay? Terrible, terrible. The guy that is the film guy for Court TV out there, he also filmed Circus Soleil on the side, okay? I spent a little while talking to him. He was like, yeah, I got a Facebook, and he had like 1 million subscribers or followers or something on Facebook, but he films Circus Soleil.
Huge news conference where we were learning new details in this investigation, including more about that search off the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley in Southern California, where Jake Haro was seen in a jail jumpsuit 2 days after his initial arrest with cadaver dogs and the search teams. Now, that was the very question I asked to authorities when we first got our opportunity. What information led them there? Take a listen.
We have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are. So that investigation is ongoing at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Matt Johnson, Court TV. What was the information?
Mab, that ain't the name of the judge that I had. I think the judge was George Hernandez was the court judge. Now, that's what somebody told me. You may be right and I may be wrong, but that was the name that I was given. That was a fill-in judge that gave him the suspended sentence. So you may be right. I don't know. I'm only going on hearsay of what I was told who the judge was.
That led to the initial search off the 60 in Moreno Valley.
Sheriff, you want to take that?
I'm not going to go into grave detail about that, but there is some level of cooperation with the suspects involved in this, and we're trying to locate that, and our job is to follow every lead. But for the rest of the room here, we have to understand what you're dealing with is an experienced child abuser that is aware of a previous case, that is aware of evidentiary things that we are certainly concerned with. So we're going to take every step to not only work with any suspect or witness involved in this, because at the end of the day, we have to bring a case to Mike and they have to charge it. And we have to make sure that every single thing, no matter what is told to us or what we discover in terms of evidence, is the right thing and that we followed up extensively.
Dealing with an experienced child abuser. That's what we picked up on in that answer right there. And then several reporters during that news conference followed up with my question, again, trying to ask for the specific evidence that led them to that location. And they said, well, it's just part of our investigation right now. We cannot disclose it.
Have they been back to that same area to search? Because I know that was about a half-day search or so. They went out in the afternoon. Have they gone back?
Still unclear at this point in time, Vinny, because I know that we went there several times following the initial search 2 days after these parents were arrested when he was seen there on the 24th of August in that brush area off the 60 freeway. We didn't see any investigators at that point in time. And then today we followed up along with other outlets asking where they are searching currently. And they said that they don't want to disclose it, frankly, right now, that they have an idea where this baby could be, and that could be in the evidence that they've already collected.
Is he broadcasting from a swarm of locusts? What the hell is all that noise? Good Lord. I mean, here we got crickets, but that shit sounds like he's broadcasting from a swarm of locusts. Like, what are you standing next to the nest? I mean, my God. Matt, he sat in front of me during the Harmony Montgomery trial. The whole trial, he was sitting in front of me. I talked to him while I was out there, and we were talking about the Harmony Montgomery trial, you know, the gun charges and him not showing up. And he's a pretty cool guy.
Collected, possibly the cooperation.
I asked him when he was going to get a YouTube channel like Vinny. He said he didn't know. He was thinking about it.
Quote unquote, by this defendant. But they don't want to disclose it, and they don't want the public in Southern California searching on their own either.
All right, Matt's going to stick around. Interesting developments here, right? So the language isn't super precise. They're telling us some things, but, you know, some level of cooperation, some idea. And that brings us to the first question in our investigation. Do investigators know where baby Emmanuel was left? Do they know? Are they guessing? Are they surmising? Where are we in this? It's not as clear as it usually is. Here to help us answer that question, former homicide detective, host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us, and private investigator with more than 20 years experience, Jason Jensen. Okay, Chris, former homicide detective, read between the lines.
Oh, Lord, look at this duo of experts right here. former this, former that. Now listen, Chris McDonough is not that bad. Okay. He's not that bad. He is one of those but he's a former homicide detective. So he's dealt with murders and things like that. So I'm a little more respectful towards Chris McDonough. Now, Don and Candace Wells hate this man because they trusted him. And then he got up there and accused Don and Candace. Okay. He pretty much did that. We know that. But he had every right to do that because most likely he's right. Okay. But, you know, he promised he would help him and things like that. And he really didn't do much. Don told me to help him. And Don, the whole time I was sitting with Don and Candace Wells in Tennessee, they just talked about how much they hated Chris McDonough. Right. And they called this dude everything in the book but a white boy. Okay. They called him everything but a white boy. They could not stand. I thought they didn't like me. They hate Chris McDonough. Okay. They hate Chris McDonough.
Lines here. Do you think they actually know?
You know, Vinny, I think this is one of these situations where, you know, the father's on probation, so they probably pitted him just for that. They executed the search warrants, got out to the house, grabbed the cars, the devices. Now they're working off a digital footprint. And they probably sent that over the Special Scientific Investigations Division at the San Bernardino Sheriff's Office there. And they're working off of that digital footprint. And when they went out there, obviously, they got some type of digital footprint that put them in that area. And then they went back to him and said, okay, this is your opportunity. We need your help. We need you to cooperate. Let's go. And that's probably why they pulled him out there.
So, Jason, do you think that they know? And if they're could they be searching in a completely different area? Do you think this is the area where Emmanuel was left and perhaps will be recovered?
Clearly, from your exchange with Matt, it sounds like they may have information because there is some level of cooperation, but they're not going to reveal where this search area is because they don't want the general public out there messing with the search zones. And so I think that there's
One thing I do like about Chris McDonough is he did a lot to help Brandy Neal Vaughn, right? You know me, how I feel about Brandy Neal Vaughn. It's still hard for me to call her Brandy Vaughn. I did get an update on her today, guys, that she is in the hospital, and her mother said she was feeling a little bit better today. Not out of the woods yet, okay? Not got a long way to go, Brandy does. And Chris McDonough did a really good job in helping Brandy with the Cold Case Foundation and things like that. So I don't really have ill will. You know how I talk bad about YouTube cops. I don't have that same feeling so much for Chris McDonough. All right. I think he has done some good. Some things he says is a little like, okay, you're old timey as hell. Right. But far as helping, being a decent human being, I think he's a good guy. Okay. Nothing bad against Chris McDonough.
An understanding that they have with this level of cooperation, they know where to look, and we're just not seeing where there's large crowds out there searching yet.
Let's take a listen to that part, because everyone keeps referencing this, and I think it's an important part of this story. And
for if you don't know who Brandy Neal Vaughn is, she is the mother of Michael Monkey Vaughn. He went missing 4 years ago in Fruitland, Idaho. It was one of the cases I covered early on. That was the first time I went to the West Coast, was to cover Michael Monkey Vaughn. And Oregon, Idaho, first time ever been there. First time I ever really flew across the country too. And, you know, met the family, sat there, interviewed her. And what happened to Michael Monkey Vaughn is just tragic. And I pray to God that there's some justice for her baby. They pretty much know who done it. It's just, I don't know if they have enough evidence to convict. And we've been waiting for them to bring charges up on these people. I even interviewed the main suspect, both of them. The Wanderers, Stacy and Sarah Wanderer, have been up here on the channel. I interviewed Stacy right here a couple different times, which he is a nasty, disgusting human being. And Sarah, PJ got an interview with the mother from jail, Sarah, right? So we interviewed them both here. They're the #1 suspects in the disappearance of Michael Monkey Vaughn. And we did this. Once we interviewed them, we turned it over to the authorities, both the interviews. So sometimes I do things that I can't tell you why I'm doing it, but I was asked to do that, to try to get them to talk, right? So I talked to both of them, and then we took those videos and the audio and we turned it over to law enforcement. So, cause you know, the more they talk, the more chances of slipping up and saying something that, they didn't say to detectives. Right. So it was just get them to talk. So I had to get up here and act like me and this guy was cool, and we listened to the same type of music, and I just want to throw up in my mouth. Right. But I did what I had to do to help the family, the Vaughn family. So I don't regret it. I don't really like people that hurt kids. And then definitely, and I don't like being fake. Okay. That's the only time I have ever been fake on YouTube. And I did that purposely to try to earn their trust so they would talk to me. And I'm not one of those people that fake who I am or how I feel about you. And it's hard for me to do that because I'm not an actor, right? I'm a real person. This is what you see is who I am. Anybody that met me in California or anybody that's met me in Tennessee, Georgia, Idaho, they'll tell you this is the same guy we see on TV. I am exactly the same guy. So it's hard for me to fake it, but that's the only time I've ever been really a fake ass person on the internet. And I did it as a favor to Brandy. That is it. And I still pray to God she pulls through. Okay.
And the way things have transpired, here is investigators and the DA from that press conference.
There are professionals that are looking for the remains of this child. If the public has any information, then we ask for their help. So we don't know exactly where the remains are. We have some ideas in terms of where we're going to look and where we're going to continue to investigate. When you have members of the public that are out there doing their own searches, all it does is potentially prejudice and damage the case. So please, let the sheriff's departments do their job. They know how to do this, right? We're helping with them, anything they need from us, but they are the ones driving this investigation, and they will track down every lead. I have all the confidence in both of these great sheriffs and their great departments.
Yeah, Chris, this is interesting to me because you're talking about a tiny little baby that has not been found. Each day, evidence, I hate to refer to a baby as evidence, right? But they're telling us that this baby is dead. So now evidence to get justice for the baby disappears each day. I know what happened down in Orlando, Florida, when they didn't find Kaylee Marie Anthony. When they didn't find her, the weather came in, the bugs came in, the critters came in, and in the end, there wasn't enough evidence to convince a jury. Why are they saying no to anyone helping?
You know, Vinny, they're already at a 9-day deficit, right? According to the information that we have. So, of course, if that child was deceased almost the first day, and then we don't know what happened to his body. Remember, they hit that house pretty strong, and they even pull up the floorboards. So that tells us they had a lot of blood activity inside of that house. And now when you move that body to, you know, an outdoor environment such as this, you know, you're going to have to go up against the elements. You're going to have to go up against, you know, animal activity, et cetera. And that canyon where, you know, the baby may be off of the 60 there. There's a lot of coyote activity, you know, rats, that kind of stuff. And so they are up against the clock, but I think they're confident enough. My belief is with that digital footprint that he was out there at some point.
Yeah, and Jason, I get back to that statement, some level of cooperation. Like either you tell us where the baby is or you don't. I don't know what are they giving like.
This dude on the right, Jason Jensen, he is stiff as a damn board, okay? He's like he thinks he's a damn CIA agent over there, okay? I'm like, damn, like, come on, Vinny. Get some real experts up in this bitch.
Dropping little clues, that doesn't make sense to me in terms of why someone, it's impossible to get inside the head of someone who would abuse a baby. That's Jake Harro, has been convicted of it already, but providing some level of information, right? Some level of cooperation. Like you either know where you buried the baby or left the baby, or you don't, you're either going to tell them or you're not. That's the part that's got me confused because it seems that there's more than one area that may be in play here.
You know, the one expert that he got, that Jensen was former FBI. I just thought he was a private investigator. Is he former FBI? That's like damn, what's her damn name? What's the FBI agent? Coffin Daffer. We pick on her a lot. But there's some pictures of her when she was full like FBI with the dog. And she trained in like counterterrorism and everything. You wouldn't know that by just looking at her, right? Right. But when she was young, she looked like a badass. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, damn, because I've seen some pictures of Coffin Daffer when she was young, and she looked like a badass. I ain't kidding. She looked like she was in it to win it, right? Tough ass looking woman when she was young. Now older, she's a little like, I don't know, right? You wouldn't think that of her, but yeah, she looked like a badass back in the day. And the one expert that he got that I like is the Ho lady. That's her last name. Something Ho. Because I always like, yeah, I like this, you know, Ho. But she's smart. I really like her. Like, she's good at what she does. She's a really intelligent woman. Like, they need to put her on the show more.
Right. And situations like this, I typically want to take off my missing persons investigator hat and put on my defense investigator hat. And that's where I would want to encourage as part of the team to say, hey, this requires full cooperation.
Who let Montel Williams on the show? I'm playing.
Otherwise, you know, going after a malice murder versus manslaughter or something in the middle is off the table, because they're only going to assume malice if you don't get the full recovery of a body.
That's true, right? If it was an accident, you would want the body because then you could prove scientifically that it was some form of an accident. All right, guess you're going to stick around. Coming up next, Why would Jake Harro?
Okay, we're going to skip a little farther ahead into this to around the 37 mark where Onatita comes in. And this is a little bit more to do with, you know, mainstream versus your YouTubers or your bloggers. Okay. And that's one of my topics tonight. So I want to kind of get to that. Where the baby is, we're not sure of that. You know, they have a general idea, which may be off to 60, but they wasn't there searching the next day or the following day, right? So how confident are they that the baby is off to 60 in the Badlands if they're not continuing to search the Badlands? If they thought the baby was there, they would be out there every day. Look what happened in Georgia. They thought Quentin Simon was in the landfill. They searched that landfill for 30 straight days, every day. No, they took the weekends off. Remember, they didn't work the weekends in Georgia. They had to go golfing and shit. I don't know. They only worked Monday through Friday, but they did it every day, Monday through Friday, 10 hours a day. And then on the weekends, they took off. So if the baby was in the Badlands out there, they would be out there every day searching, I believe, in my opinion. So they must not be too confident that the baby is out there, or they would still be out there searching right now. They would have search teams searching around the clock out there for this baby, and locals haven't seen them out there, right? So I don't know how confident they are that this baby is off to 60 in the Badlands. I mean, that's just my theory, right? If he is, they're not looking very hard. All right, let me get to this. We'll start right about here.
We have started our own search party here in Cali Mesa, California. These are our constituents. We started with one and we got about 10, 15 people here, all looking for the common goal.
And that's Ahmed Belozo, who's been leading the charge out there in California from the beginning. His social media site, Onatita, all over this story and reporting fact after fact, development after.
Vinny didn't roll the R. He just said Onatita, right? But when you hear somebody that's Spanish say it, they roll the R. So, I mean, people have a different way of saying it, okay?
Development. And there was a mention about us, the media, at the press conference. Let's bring in Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who's at the Riverside County DA's office. What did officials say about us, the media?
Well, the media, traditional media, has played a big role in this investigation. The tip lines, very helpful. But they also said this. They said that social media and some individuals have been hurtful. Let's watch.
I want to thank all of you in the media for covering this, specifically the parents' initial statements to the public while we were trying to find Emmanuel. They became critical as we continued through this investigation.
I just want to thank all of you for, especially the normal mainstream media, for your attention to this and for your cooperation in this.
Okay, I want to thank all my constituents out here watching, y'all fools, homie. Okay, you know, it's been a crazy one, and these people out here, they be talking in the mic. Beware. Look, we're gonna get to the bottom of the Emmanuel Haro case. If not, we're gonna club you in the head. He don't even talk into the mic, right? You know, he just holds the mic. He's just like, here you go. Dolly Vision, YouTube, he's just get it while you get it while it's hot, right? hot mic. We got the YouTube on this side, like a little YouTube play button. Dolly Vision, right? Anybody? I'm just playing, people. Don't send me no hateful ass messages. I know y'all like this guy and shit, but I'm just playing, okay? It's a joke. Good Lord, people get so sensitive.
You're looking for like over this house about the jail confession.
You're watching On the Dolly, okay? On the Dolly.
Fake inmate to get information, and the father confessed that.
Well, see, that's not true. So I don't know where you. Well, no. See, this is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and
these keyboard warriors. They be wiping their butt from the back to the front. I'm old school, homie. I wipe my butt from the front to the back. Y'all got dirty butts, okay? Dirty. Did y'all catch him when he said that? When he was in front of the house? I was out there filming him, right? I was out there filming the dude, right? And he was like, all right, film. I had the light so you could see him. So I was shining the light on while he was doing his TikTok video, right? That dude was saying some of the craziest shit. Right? He was like, I wipe my butt from the back to the front. I'm old school. I was like, what the hell does wiping your butt got to do with a missing kid? Right? I was just like, I had to keep muting them. I was like, YouTube is going to so kick me off, right? Like, because YouTube got different guidelines than like other social medias. And so I was just sketched that, you know, man, they're gonna like block my channel or something. I've been working so hard to build this channel, and he's gonna F me up, right? I'm muted. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this dude is nuts, boy. All right, back to the show. Back to the Tito. Back to the Tito.
Keyboard warriors, you get a lot of misinformation, and what you just said is not true. It's misinformation. So that's what I'll tell you did not happen.
Someone posts something on social media and then you all believe that it's true. I actually complimented the mainstream media because you've actually been reaching out to us for comment and actually been printing what we've told you. It hasn't been the sensationalism and the wants for clicks for social media. And that is doing nothing but harming this investigation.
False information, hurting the investigation. Those were words that we heard quite a bit during that news conference less than 24 hours after the first appearance of Jake and Rebecca Haro in court. And right there, you heard the DA also double down. He says that there was no jailhouse confession, Vinny.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting the way all this has developed. Matt, thanks again. I think I said goodbye to you. I'll say goodbye to you again. Still working hard. See, came back for another segment. Unbelievable. Okay, so there's always going to be friction. There has been through the years, sometimes between law enforcement and the media. And whether it's media, social media, to me, we're all in this together. And that brings us to
listen, homie, we ain't taking no rest around here. We ain't stopping until they find Emmanuel. Okay, I'm out here. I'm jumping fences. I'm falling out. I don't care. I won't stop. Can't stop. Right? Rocket nonstop. We doing it. To all my constituents, you fools, and we're gonna make this shit happen. All right, justice for baby Emmanuel.
the next question in my investigation. What role has social media played in this case? Here to help answer that question, private investigator Lauren Vellucci, also very prolific on social media, and the man who has been leading the coverage of all of this, the founder of On the Tira News, Ahmed Bellozo, is with us as well. Great to have you both here. Ahmed, let me begin with you. What do you see as the role of social media in this story, which began as the search for
Today's broadcast is brought to you by the letter C. Court TV has just entered the chat, homie.
a missing, abducted baby?
I believe personally that social media plays a very, very important role in getting information out in real time to our constituents, as I like to call them, or my constituents. I can't speak for other social media creators because I tend not to watch other content creators, because in some of these cases, that's exactly what it is content. And so I can definitely understand the frustrations of the the authorities, but to put us all under the same umbrella is just so disrespectful.
Don't put me under the same umbrella. I drive a 64 Impala on hydraulics. They be driving Nissan Maximus. Okay, we are not the same, homie.
Disrespectful the same way it would be disrespectful for me to put him under the same umbrella in all the atrocities that have occurred in his department. And so there's bad apples in every profession. In this case, I feel like I have done an exemplary job, not only because I toot my own horn, but because my constituents have told me so.
Somebody said, not cool, Dolly. Not cool. Okay, I'm playing. I told y'all. What? Let me, okay, hold on. Let me go over something first. What's in my warnings in the beginning of the video? Dolly's for entertainment purpose only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos, right? Did y'all not hear that when y'all tuned in, right? I let y'all know that some of this is jokes and playing, a little bit of comedy, okay? So calm down, get your underwear out your ass. You're going to be okay, okay? You'll live to see another day, I promise you. Did anybody die? That is my question, all right? Did you die? If you didn't, then stop bitching.
And not only that, I actually got a message today by one of my sources who is in the investigation, and he said, I can't speak for the sheriff, but I tell you personally that your information has been invaluable to us. And so as hot as I was earlier, and no disrespect to nobody, but I feel that at least in my personal page, I know that.
Yeah, I think OTT made it to Turtle Island. I would have to look, but I think he did make it to Turtle Island. So he is on the island this season of my game show, okay? We picked 6 people last night, and I think he was one of the 6 that got picked. I can't remember. Somebody that watched might have to tell me, but I think he did. Yes, he did. Okay, yeah, he got picked last night. So people vote you onto the island, and then when the show starts, it's like Survivor. People get to call in and vote off who they want to vote off, and then of course the winner gets a cash prize and they get a championship belt. So I think there's going to be 35 people on the island this season, and yeah, it starts up soon, right? So he made it to the island, so he will be able to be voted on. So if you like, own the Tita, stop by the island and vote for him to stay, because it's like Survivor. The person with the most votes to kick gets kicked off, okay? The one with the most votes could wins a cash prize and the world title of Turtle Island Grand Champion. And it is a belt, like a WWE belt, big ass full-size belt.
I am not out there misleading the public. I am not a copy and paste sort of reporter. If I get a lead, I go down there and I investigate it, because it is not my job to try to show you, or it is my job to give you the facts and let you make your own decision just as they do. But the thing is that when they want our help, they sure ask for it. But when we go out on our own, they complain and then they blame us, the social media, when they should have singled people out or reworded it very, very different. And so just as disappointed as they are, I'm disappointed myself.
Yeah, and I don't see a difference here, Lauren. Like, he could say normal media, like I'm normal, versus some. No, the media is the media. It has always been evolving through the years, and
Vinny gets it. Vinny gets it. That's why he asked the other night, was I'm going to be at CrimeCon, because Vinny don't know that they kind of said hell no to Dolly, right? They sent me my money back. So Vinny, when I went on Vinny's channel yesterday, he's like, Dolly's in the room. We got a celebrity in the house, right? That's what Vinny said. He's like, Dolly, are you going to be at CrimeCon? Because me and Vinny hung out last year at CrimeCon in Nashville. And I wrote him back. I super chat and said, no, Vinny, they won't let me on. Pull some strings for me. And then he was like, Dolly, I got to hear that story. So, but now I looked and all the booths are full. They're sold out because it's so close. And Ice-T is going to be there, right? And I was like, damn, Ice-T. They say I'm controversial is why they won't let me on, right? But Vinny gets it. Media is different today than it was 60 years ago, okay? That's my problem with some of these old detectives. Times have changed, man. You got to change with the times. like Vinny said, media is media. You could say, hey, I'm just a YouTuber, but these media people get it. They think I'm just as much media as they are. That's why, we were all sharing information. I was sharing information with the media. The media was sharing information with me. I think if you go out there and you cover the case, you're a journalist, right? If you sit at home and you cover the case, I think you're an online sleuth. But if you're on the scene and your boots on the ground and you're out there bringing information to the constituents out here, my homies, right? Then I think you're an independent journalist. And a lot of these people look at you. Some people look at you like you're a joke. Oh, you just a YouTuber. But they don't realize, hey, my videos get more views than your news channel, right? There's more people watching me live than watching you live. And some of them really get it, right? Some of them really get it that this is a new day. This is a new era. Media is brought to you now in different ways. And no matter who you are, if you're bringing the information, you're bringing the information.
It has evolved to the point where citizen journalists can go out there on their own and dig up stories. And Lauren, you've seen it in the world of true crime that cases have been solved by people who have been running out and getting things done, or things have been uncovered. Things get stirred up, the conversation. It also puts pressure on investigators to solve cases.
That's what I said. See? Vinny thinks just like I do. If us being out there bringing the story live and everybody watching it brings pressure to the investigators. Now, didn't I just say that? Freaking Crime Con. Yeah, I mean, I wish they were a little more Dolly friendly and would let me take part. I'm the redheaded stepchild of true crime, and I work my ass off just as hard, if not harder, than a lot of these people, and I just get shit on, right? Like, I don't get it. But listen, one day I'm going to make you respect me. I'm going to earn people's respect one way or another, right? It may take some time, but right now they treat me like shit. All right. Like, but hey, I'm building, I'm growing. All you people watching that are subbing up the channel, one day they ain't going to be able to say no to Dolly. I'll be a force that they'll be like, Dolly, will you take part? And I'm going to be like, go F yourself, Crime Con. You should have let me in when I was begging to be a part of it, when I wanted to hang out with my fellow peers. And y'all were like, oh, hell no to you. Here's your money back. Who gives people their money back? We must be from two different planets. Listen, you buy something from me, guess what you ain't getting? Your money back, okay? I sent them money for a booth. They sent my shit back. They were like, oh, hell nah, here's your money back, right? Who the hell gives money back, homie? Okay? Who gives that? You? I can guarantee you, who would give my money back out here? Anybody? Listen, I ain't giving you that. I got one guarantee. I guarantee you order something from me, you ain't getting your money back. Okay? That's my one guarantee that I can offer. Them people said, they said F me so bad, they sent my money back. I would at least keep the money and be like, hey, we lost that and in the transaction somehow. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't know what happened to your money, but we're not going to give you a booth or your money back. They were like, here's your money back. Good luck next year. Y'all told me that. That's what they told me the first year, right? I get it. Georgia happened, a little bit of trouble, right? I get it. Little controversy, right? We did a little more drama then. We can't have Dolly. I get it. They were like, better luck next year. They refunded my money last year too. And they said, better luck next year. I was like, okay. Well, this year I've been really good. So I applied again this year and they didn't even give me a reason. No reason whatsoever. They didn't give my constituents a reason. They didn't give the homies a reason. They didn't give me shit. All they did was give me my money back. And they didn't even say better luck next year. They just gave it back. I was like, damn, right? Like, what do you got to do? Do I got to kiss your butt? Like, what do I got to do? Like, listen, I think I'm too redneck for their party or something. I just don't get it. But there is no love in the crime world for Dolly. Okay, just not. It's almost funny to me. What can you do? But listen, we're growing. We're working hard. We're going to continue to bring you the best, and we're going to outdo these people. And then one day they're going to be asking me to be a part of it. It'll come. Hard work will pay off.
You touched on it. I think that's what they don't like, but it sure does put pressure. And yeah, all the time we're hearing of cases that if an independent journalist or
what it is CrimeCon wipes from the back to the front. Okay, that's the problem we got going on here. Is they're wiping from the back to the front. Okay, they're wiping from the front to the back, and not from the back to the front. I said that all backwards. I'm controversial. I don't think so.
YouTube creator hadn't got involved and put so much information out there, things wouldn't have come to light. So I have news for Sheriff Chad Bianco. I hope that he tries to create a working
Somebody said CrimeCon gets UTIs. Listen, I'm just picking with CrimeCon. They put on the best event of the year. It's the biggest true crime event in the country. So I just wanted to be a part of it, right? Like, all jokes aside, if you get a chance to check out CrimeCon, there's a lot of good people there, a lot of good speakers. John Walsh was there last year, Nancy Grace. It's just like, it's my peers. And I know I'm a little silly and joke around and play a lot, but I'm not a bad person. I wouldn't go there and do anything bad. So WipeCon 2025, right? But I guess I'm a little too silly for. I don't know. They just don't take me serious, or whatever vendetta they got against me. I don't know. It just sucks when you can't. It's like I can't sit at y'all's table. Like, damn. I just want to see my fans and meet people that are interested in the same thing as me. And I had a lot of people come to meet me at CrimeCon last year. I just didn't have a table, but I still got to meet everybody, take pictures, go out to eat with everybody. We had a big celebration. It was good times, and I just want to be a part of it. It sucks. It really does. It's kind of disheartening, because I know how hard I work, and I know I work harder than so many of these people up here that are part of it. Right. And I see what they do, and I work 10 times harder than a lot of these people, and they just shit on me, man. It is what it is.
Hand in hand with these creators, with these journalists, because they're not going away. This is the wave of the future.
Right.
And if you're not going to, have a working relationship, you're doing yourself no favors. You're burning bridges where they would be helpful bridges to find information on your cases. And I found it very tasteless, because there is no normal journalist, like you said, and even big news stations can get it wrong.
Yeah,
so
right. And sometimes they can be accused of getting something wrong when it's actually right. Another job of the media is to keep those in power honest. And you got to keep the powerful accountable for what they do. Ahmed, I'll give you the final words here. We have like 15 seconds just to wrap things up.
I believe that either you want us or you don't. And if you don't, then don't use my content straight out.
There you
Get
go.
a subpoena.
Get a subpoena, exactly.
And you know what? They called me asking me for video still, and I said, it's not my problem anymore.
Look at that. Ahmed Bellozo, Hanatira, thank you so much. Lauren Velluccia, always great to see you as well. Social media and true crime go hand in hand. The power of the public is immense. Social media can stir things up, keep stories alive, and create a public awareness that is so much more powerful than just the old-fashioned press release. The question is, when will law enforcement learn how to harness it and use it as a tool rather than just dismiss it?
Amen to Vinny. Vinny is the OG of Court TV. Okay. I say the same thing. If you use the power of all our minds together, you would solve some cases. Because listen, let's be honest. If you got two people trying to solve a problem, it may get solved. It may take some time, right? But if you got hundreds of people that are passionate about what they do, digging up every rock, kicking over every stone, looking in every corner, searching, hunting, talking to people. Let me tell you this. There's things people told me that they would never tell the police, right? If you're not a street person, right? And you know me, I've been to jail. I've done, you know, I was a smoker for a while, so I knew all the people that sold and all these things that they would share information with me. Like there was people telling me stuff in Georgia that would have never told the police. They don't trust the police. They don't want to have any involvement with the police. Matter of fact, they don't want the police at their house because they're doing illegal shit. Right. But they were sharing information with me. Okay. While we were sitting there chiefing. So, I mean, there's some things that I can get that the police can't get because people trust you and you're one of them. Right. So just like a lot of the people in, I use Georgia as a prime example, even in Tennessee, there's stuff people tell me everywhere I go, start your own crime. I wish I could. You know, it's hard to get all them famous people to show up. Or it costs a lot of money and I don't really have the finances to start my own crime con. If I did, it would have to be really small and then grow over the years. I mean, I ain't saying it couldn't be done, but yeah, I just wanted to take part, man. Shame on y'all, right? For treating me so bad. One day they'll know one day. They'll be like, ain't that the dude we wouldn't let on? And then they're going to want me, right? Then I'm going to be like, about time. About time. So like, I know there's information I can get that the police can't get. Matter of fact, I use a case here in Virginia. Jake Federland, he went missing and the cops were looking for him everywhere. All right. He didn't show up for work. His family reported him missing. I go out there droning looking for him. This is Northern Virginia. And I go into a gas station where all the locals hang out. It's like a hot dog place in mixed, like everybody hangs there filling up their tractors because this is in the middle of nowhere. Right? All the locals hang out in this little gas station. The lady at the counter knows everybody, right? Knows everybody. And I go in there and they're like, you're in town looking for Jake. And I was like, yeah, you know, I talked to his family. They're worried about him. And he's missing, right? They were like, well, I don't think he's missing. And I was like, well, why do you think that? He's like, that man's running around in the woods naked. Right? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, man. I mean, this was multiple people. They were like, yeah, somebody seen him without his shirt on or no clothes. He was running around in the woods naked. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? And dude's like, and then the lady behind the counter goes, yeah, he's probably effed up on some drugs. And he's out here running around naked. And now, I mean, there's a massive search for this guy, right? They think he's been kidnapped and beat and in a dumpster somewhere. And this guy's running around in the woods naked. I thought they were just effing with me, right? I just thought, you know, hey, I ain't local. These people but they were like country folk, like my people. And I was just like, they're like, yeah, he's running around naked. So I go to meet with the family and they tell me, they were like, yeah, they found his car. And the crazy thing is his pack of cigarettes was in the car with his clothes. So now I'm thinking the man is naked, right? He's naked. They got his clothes, right? So the locals were like, yeah, somebody seen him without his shirt on. He was running around in the woods. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. Okay. That day, a police roll up on a naked dude down a dirt road, and it's Jake Federland, the guy that I'm out there looking for. Right? He's naked running through the woods. Now, I don't know what type of drugs he was on or what was going through his mind, but he parked his car in the middle of the woods, took his clothes off, and was running around the woods naked. So that's information the police didn't know. Right? The police didn't even know that. Just some dude like was filling up his tractor, said, yo, man, that dude's running around the woods naked. I was like, you're kidding me. Right? You're kidding me. But he definitely wasn't kidding. So social media and different people can get different information from different people is what I'm saying. Some of these people probably didn't want to talk to the police. They didn't want to be involved in it. But once you asked them, they volunteered the information. Like, yeah, he's running around. Matter of fact, they told me where to look for him naked. They were like, look, go down 2 streets. There's a little house in the back. And the lady owned a hotel across the street. And she was like, you can go over there and search. I don't care if you go on my property and stuff. She goes, but somebody said they saw him on the road that leads adjacent to where my hotel's at. Because she had like a hotel, like not like a Hilton and nothing, but it was like 4 rooms. It looked like something out of a damn horror movie. Okay, that you wouldn't stay at to save your life unless you were like stranded on an isolated island somewhere. You might go, okay, yeah, that looks like a good place to stay. It looked like I would never stay there. Like, this shit is the start of a horror movie, right? So, but I just wanted to use that as an example of how different people can get different information, right? So some people may not like, you were chasing a streaker. Yeah, I was. Yes, absolutely. I think he was under the influence of something. You know, he had went to some party or something, but he's okay. He's safe. He's still alive, you know, and the family was real grateful that I did come out there looking for him. He was found that day. So, doorbell cams are very useful. So you just never know. I think media needs to accept us as a form of media. As long as you handle yourself in a professional way and you don't go out there and make a fool of yourself. I think the best thing for YouTubers that want to get into this is watch the media a little bit, watch what they do, and then do better. Okay. Because like I said, there's things that I could say that they couldn't say. Like when I was saying, hey, you're defending a baby killer. What do you got to say now? You ain't got shit to say now that they're in jail. They can't say things like that. But us as TikTokers, YouTubers, we can absolutely say those things. So some people in media get it, like Vinny. You heard Vinny, like, this is a new day, this is a new age. And listen, I don't really hate any of these YouTube former detectives, but they got to get with the times, is what I'm saying. That's the only message I want to get back. This ain't your heyday anymore. This is a new time and era. And if you ain't with the times, you're going to get passed. Right? We're going to mow you over like you're sitting still. It's just the truth. There's a new way of bringing media, and it's guerrilla media. It's being on the front line. It's like a war, and we on the front lines. You're reporting it from way over there, and we reporting it from the battlefield. Where do you want to get your information from? I want my shit straight from the battlefield. I don't want a middleman giving me my information. I want to be on the front lines. I'm a warrior. That's where I belong. Okay. That's where I belong. It's on the front. You put the best in the front. Okay. You want the army that's going in first. You want the best of the best there, bringing you accurate, real information, honestly. And I think that's what we do. Like Rage Against the Machine, guerrilla radio. Same thing, but with media. We're raging against the system, and the system don't know how to react to it. So they're defensive instead of saying, you know what we should do? Let's give these people jobs. That's what I would do. Homie is Speedy Gonzalez, little cartoon rat. He is all over the place, right? And the people in California love this guy. I mean, they love him. He's damn near a damn celebrity out there to these people. And he's put in the work. He's, like I said, he's a little different than what I would do. He's a little more rambunctious. He's a little bit more foul language than me. But everybody has their place. If that's what they enjoy and that's what they enjoy watching, then more power to them. Our audiences are not the same, right? I have an older audience, mostly women, and I bring my entertainment to you as is if your kid is in the room, okay? Your kid may be sitting next to you. Your grandbaby may be sitting next to you. I may occasionally drop an F-bomb if I get all excited, but for the most part, Dolly Vision's pretty friendly, except for when I was talking about wiping from the front to the back. That's a little, but I got that from him, right? I got that from my constituents out there, right? My constituents. So, but for the most part, I try to keep everything to where if your kids are sitting around watching with you, they're not going to hear something that you have to explain to them, or something so foul that you're like, oh man, I can't watch this with the kids around, you know? So I try to keep it a little more classy and a little less trashy, but some people like that. Some people like the foul language. They like the people being animated and wild. Everybody has their place, right? I believe everybody has their place out here, and it ain't really about tearing people down. Is mainstream should be helping build us up. And like I said, you may get some of your best reporters this way. You know, watch what's going on and say, well, damn, wouldn't it be great if this dude that's on the front line that's getting all the scoops worked for us? But they want to put pretty people on TV, right? You got they want this certain look, but it ain't the look. It's the brains. It's the brains of the person that is what really gets you the story, how they go about getting a story, and if their information is good information and genuine information. And I believe that real people recognize real people, and they want guerrilla media. And united, not divided. That's right. It's easy to tear somebody down. I joke on people. Listen, so some people think I'm, hating on somebody. No, I just pick. I like to joke and have fun and play. So I pick on people. I don't hate anybody, right? I tell people this all the time. I will joke the shit out of you, but I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I don't go to bed with hate in my heart. I just play. Sometimes I like to laugh, right? Because laughter to me is the best medicine. Usually the people I love the most are the people that can make me laugh. You make me laugh, Dolly will be your friend. I love funny people. I like goofy people. I like big kids. It's just who I am. So if your personality is close to mine, we will get along great. Now, if you some old stuck up ass, take everything so seriously, get butt hurt real easy, I probably ain't the guy for you, because I don't do that. Like, not only can I joke people, but I can take being joked, right? If I dish it out, I can take it, right? Because if you can't take it, don't dish it out. So when people joke on me, like T-Rev, I joke the shit out of T-Rev. Right? That dude right there, right now, he's parked in a meth lab somewhere watching, mad about Dolly stole my hashtags. Okay, Dolly stole my hashtags. Poor guy, poor dude. I feel he tried to be Dolly at home. And I tell everybody, man, do not try to be me. He stole the whole show format, right? Call-in show, true crime. I remember what the crazy thing was, he was doing good with it until he started getting dishonest and lying to the viewers and faking things. He was doing pretty good at it, right? He was making, what did he say he made? He told Seth he made $20,000. I'm sitting over here like, damn, this dude stole my show and made 20 G's. Right? I'm like, damn, little Keebler elf looking bitch. Right? I'm over here like counting quarters and shit. This dude that made 20 G's and stole my program, right? Just took that shit right out of my back pocket like a pickpocket. But he learned the hard way. He couldn't get 100 people in his chat to save his life right now, right? He couldn't do it. He went from making $20,000 to damn driving for DoorDash. Hey, that's what happens when you try to be Dolly at home. Okay, when you try to be me, it don't work out. It may seem good. You got a $400 haircut, and I'm here cutting coupons. Yeah, right. So you living all balling and shit. I'm over here eating oodles and noodles, right? Like, and we ain't the same, right? We ain't the same. I didn't get it, right? Like, but I think I got a good format of what we do, as far as taking calls and giving the people a voice. And when I was coming up, one of my favorite things, and I'll share this with y'all. It's way off topic, but one of my favorite people were Art Bell. And he was on the radio station Coast to Coast. For some of my older people out here, y'all may know who Art Bell is. He did a call-in show where people talked about UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, Like, and I used to like love some Art Bell because he was so serious, and it didn't matter what you told him, he would listen to you. I mean, it could be the craziest shit that you can imagine. Like, I came through a time portal, and I'm just here hanging out with myself, my younger self, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, what's your younger self doing?" He would just go with it. Like, he didn't care what you said. He would just listen to you. He was just like a friend in the middle of the night. Right? Like, if you just needed somebody, people like me, when people call me, they just call me sometimes just to talk. And that's kind of how Art Bell was. And I loved Art Bell, his show. And I was like, when I came on to YouTube, I was like, I kind of want it to be like a radio show. Because, I'm older. I don't come from the TikTok or the YouTube era. I come from the radio era. When I was a kid, I used to sit around and listen to different DJs on the radio play music and talk, like K-Rock and Z-Rock and things like that. So I wanted to bring that to my YouTubing, is that old school vibe of what I really enjoyed as a young teenage kid. So this is the format. Like, people call in and say some of the craziest stuff here. And I just, I'm a little different than Art Bell. I'm a little more comedic and not as patient as Art Bell. But if anybody asks me, well, where did I get my format from? I molded myself around Art Bell. And rest in peace to Art Bell. Now you got Dolly. Okay, now you got Dolly. Not as good, but I do my best. I do my best. With that said, let's open up the phone lines. Okay. Video killed the radio, right? Video killed the radio. But you can still have those elements in your live streams. Dolly, your show is awesome, and all of us love you. Now, of course, Art Bell didn't go out to crime scenes. Art Bell didn't search for missing people. But the whole call-in show concept was, for me, all the years that I listened to Art Bell. All right. With that said, let's open the call-in, and let's hear from you guys. What do you think about mainstream versus YouTubers and bloggers? And what Jake said, that his wife is a wonderful woman. They want to raise money to get her out of jail. She needs 10%, which is $100,000. She loves her kids, and she had nothing to do with the disappearance of her son. But yet, she's still saying the child has been kidnapped, and she knows good damn well this child has not been kidnapped. So what do we do in a situation like this? That is my question. Like, what should we do with her, right? Should we punish her to the max? Does anybody feel sorry for her, right? I think people felt sorry for her in the beginning, and then they kind of, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you. You're awesome. I'll pay you later. Okay. Dolly.
What's up, brother?
What up, Doug?
Yeah.
Okay, you were first again, Doug. It's like you wait.
I'm good. I wake all the time, man.
You my favorite constituent there, Doug.
I got to get my dolly fix all day and all night.
Oh, I hear you. You better get your ass some rest. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got to go golfing in the morning.
Do you? Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Happy Gilmore.
I don't care what nobody says. That woman knows her baby was gone for a while before they did the kidnapping. She's just as guilty as him.
I agree.
Accessory to the fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
she should never get out of
should
jail.
she be charged with murder?
It's accessory to the fact.
I would say accessory to murder, because I think he did it, and she tried to cover it up. So I would say
abuse of a corpse.
And abuse of a corpse. I would say accessory to murder and abuse of a corpse would be what I think she's guilty of. Because he runs the show. You know how I know that, Doug?
Because she done what he told her to do.
No, because she has two black eyes. That's why I know he runs the show.
Well, any woman that says somebody kidnapped a kid because he tells her to, he tells her what to do.
What if he's telling her he'll kill her?
she already knew he was. He knew he was bad.
Yeah, I think so too. It's I don't want to see any woman abused, right? That's terrible, right? It is terrible to see that. And I've been around a bunch of shitbag dudes. I know plenty of shitbag dudes that would beat on their women and treat them like shit and all kinds of things. Like, so I've seen abused women, and this woman, she's definitely an abused woman, but she stood by her man when she shouldn't have.
Right. And they will. For some reason, they will.
I mean, I know she's an older woman and he's a younger man, and maybe she's attracted to that and or to the bad guy. I mean, all these women want a bad guy until they get one. Then they're like, I should have been nicer to that nice guy.
And a lot of them like old crazy people like me and you. We like to have fun.
Well, as long as you're crazy and not violent. There's a difference between crazy and there's a difference between crazy and violent. Like, I'm just crazy. I'm not crazy and violent, and I'm not big enough to be violent. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
Like, who am I going to hurt? I'm fucking 5'7". You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say when you go into a bar, you look for the biggest person around to mess with.
I'm scrappy. I'm actually pretty scrappy for my size, though. I have to say that. I'm in it to win it, even though I'm little.
Well, see, I never had that problem. Nobody ever picked on me in the bar.
You're 7 foot tall, Doug, and 300 pounds. Of course, nobody picks on you. You fill up the whole bar. There ain't even no room for anybody. You got to drink alone because there ain't no room beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have fun, though.
Yeah, you ain't got little people problems. Everybody want to pick a fight with me because they think they can whip my ass. Nobody thinks they can beat you up, so they don't mess with you.
I hear you, but I do have fun.
All right, Doug.
All right, man.
You be good.
You be good. We'll tell PJ I forgot to tell her bye.
All right.
Tell her hello.
All right.
Later.
Peace. I almost just ended the stream. I thought I was trying to hang up and almost hit end stream. Yeah, Doug is a big dude. I don't know how many of y'all met Doug at Tennessee when we were down at CrimeCon. Doug is huge. He's like a Bigfoot. Okay, he's like that's a big ass dude. I was like, damn, what up, Doug? Dude is big. Like a big dude. Y'all remember Hillbilly Jim, right? Overalls, this big ass dude. Anybody from old school remember him? He kind of reminds me of a little older version of Hillbilly Jim, right? Dolly Dangerfield, no respect. That's how I feel. Okay, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I am the Rodney Dangerfield of true crime. No lie. All right. Now let me open the phone lines back up. Phone lines are back open. You guys tell me what y'all think about this whole situation. What Jake had to say, that she don't know what happened to the baby. She loves her kids. She needs to be out of jail. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Ari. I'm calling from Wisconsin.
All right. What's going on with you tonight?
Hey, I was just wondering, because I do have a German Shepherd dog. Has there been any dogs to try to find the baby?
Yeah, they had cadaver dogs and stuff out there in the beginning, searching for this baby in the house. Now, there was the dogs out there on the interstate with them. So yeah, they've had dogs searching for this baby.
Okay, because I just feel like dogs are kind of underutilized, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Are there any updates on him?
Well, they say they believe they know the area that he's in, but they didn't specify what area that was. But at this time, they don't know where his body's at. So as far as any like official updates is they believe they know the area he's in, but don't know exactly where in that area. So they're continuing to search, they're continuing to investigate, but they're preparing to go to trial right now with no body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if either way it goes, they're going to trial, even if they find the baby or if they don't find the baby. You know, they're hinting to they may never find the baby, but who knows?
Okay, well, I hope that you know, someone finds this baby ASAP.
Yeah.
And then when they do have the trial, that you will be able to cover it, because
I
you
will be
did,
out
like,
there. I will be out there for the sentencing aspect of it, or when they go to trial and they're about to be found guilty. When the jury goes
Okay.
out, I'm coming out to California to see the verdict and the sentencing.
Okay, because you did an amazing job when you went out there before.
Mm-hmm.
They arrested them. Like, it was just so classy how you handled everything.
Yeah.
Like, everybody on your channel appreciated that.
Yeah, and I'll be, like I said, I'll be out there for when they're found guilty, and I'll be out there for the sentencing. The trial itself, I probably won't be there for, because I'm on a limited budget. I can only stay so long, hotels and different expenses like that, unless I raise some funds for it. But I'm gonna do as much as I can with what I got.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you had, like a GoFundMe so you could go out there, because I think if you were there from start to finish,
Yeah.
at least part of it, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I can. I can't make anybody any promises, but I'm going to try to do what I can do, and that's all I can really do. But so we'll see what happens.
Okay, Dolly. Okay, nice talking to you. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Peace.
Bye. Peace.
Yeah, so like I said, listen, there's a lot of rich ass YouTubers out here. Dolly ain't one of them. And you may say, well, Dolly, you look like you had a blast, but that was my birthday. I saved for that. Dolly. Hello.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, how's it going?
Puri Dye from Indiana. Hey, I don't want to disagree with the last caller about you handled everything with class. I have to tell you, since the WW fucking F, I've never seen greater footage of you and Ahmad, under data, that night in my whole life. It was like, I felt like I was right there and everything. I kept saying, oh my God, something's happened to the sound. And my son ran in there. He doesn't even watch this, he listens, but he doesn't watch. And he's going, what the hell? I mean, Dolly, no, you captured something so great and wonderful. The whole time you were out there, I felt like I was right there. And that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm an old lady and I've seen a lot of shit.
That's what the media can't do.
They would not let Ahmad in CrimeCon either. You know why? Because you guys are the stars. They can't deal with you. Ashley Banfield can. Benny can. Uncle Benny. He loves being called our cousin Benny.
Banfield is the sweetest woman in the world.
Yes,
Banfield is so sweet.
Yes.
She is
They
so sweet.
love you guys. See, they know it. But the other ones are running scared.
Yeah,
Dolly, and the other day when I knew that you guys were famous, you and Anand, I was listening to, what I could find the day they were looking for him. And I heard these Mexicans speaking on two different channels, gentlemen. And I heard, that Dolly, Dolly Vision. Now I'm going, what? So I found it in English. I listened to him in English and they said that Ahmad said, just listen to that Dolly Vision guy. Yes, he's the only other reporter, besides him out there, those 2 days or 3 days. And I thought, this is so great because you made him a star that night. And Dolly, what was so freaking wild was, and that one guy, the one with the slick hair that got up and talked yesterday, he wants to be running for governor, which he just fucked himself in the ass. They were mad because they said, where in the hell did they get those? Where's the baby T-shirts? This is true. I've got this from good source out there, from my niece who lives out there. They were mad. Where'd they get these? Where's the baby? I mean, where's the baby T-shirts?
Well, them viewers made those T-shirts. They're not even.
I didn't know that. But here,
they made
did you
them
see
shirts.
Ahmad when he asked that guy, I need your T-shirt before he started filming?
Yeah. He was filming with the Where's the Baby T-shirt on.
Yes, he wanted that. And everybody knows that's your logo. I don't care where they are in the world. Where's your baby is yours. And everybody knew that was you because then you were talking. And then, this was the greatest thing I've ever seen since WWF. And the night that they said that Jake the snake got crunched, underneath the guy, big giant guy came out, and my boys were crying, and I thought, and that guy's name's Jake. But I remember my two sons crying because they thought Jake the snake had been crunched. And that, no, Dolly. Oh my God, you did so wonderful.
Right,
and then the night of the vigil, this was the wildest thing, man. It got like spiritual or something, and it was like there was no Democrats, there was no Republicans. It was just those people really wanting answers for this baby. That was it. And that night was so peaceful. And when they got on there, and that's when all the people were there that night, the most people. And when they got up there and said, all the people causing commotions out there, and you notice the 350-pound, 6'5" guy that tried to beat up a mod who weighs 120 pounds and 5'6". Yeah, they let the dogs out. Remember how he let his dogs out? That was how rude was that? But it didn't do anything. I mean, there was like some zen that happened out there. And this little baby, he will be found. He will be found, or he's already found. He's found in heaven. All the people around the world, Dolly, this is one of the greatest tapings and expeditions, live events. I would have paid for it. For what was, because it was so raw.
It was raw. It was
that
raw.
Was it, and that's what people want and need this day and age we're living in. We need something real. Everything's fake. And then you guys are out there, and it's real. It's
that
real.
is,
So
reality TV ain't even real. So
no, it's not. No. And smart people, and I consider, I went to college and all that. And I consider myself kind of smart, but I know what I want to listen to. I don't watch television anymore because someone said, "Well, don't they just cover the true crimes?" I said, "I watched the tsunamis when the earthquakes happened. I watched that with you and how the tsunami was coming in, or I watched when the volcanoes erupted." So no, I get all that from you guys.
Yeah, we cover a lot of stuff. Yeah,
it's just not that.
All right, well, look, you be good. Calm down.
Yes, calm down. Don't change anything. You're going to get an Emmy. You're going to get your Emmy.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Love you guys.
All right,
bye,
peace.
Ann.
All right, peace. Okay, she was hyped up, right? She was hyped up. She was on the Tita. That's what I was saying. When you way ass hype, you on the Tita, lady, right? You on the Tita. You out there. You on the front row. You might hit somebody with a chair in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But you ready to go. You fired up at 1:30 in the morning. I mean, oh Lord, Granny bouncing around the house, huh? Okay, y'all guys are too much. All right. So it's true. It's raw, it's uncut, it's unfiltered. It's the realest TV that you're gonna get. Dolly. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Crystal from Ohio.
What's up, Crystal?
Hey, I've been watching you for a few years now, and
awesome.
So with Jake and Rebecca, with baby Emmanuel, there is no way in hell that she loves that little boy at all. Because if she did,
she wouldn't have let it happen.
Would have reported him.
Yes, I thought the same thing too. He's making her out to be like she's some saint, but yet she lied. She had to have known this baby was dead, and she went along with it, and she was protecting him. So how good of a mom is she really?
Right, and I think that there's more to it. I think he's trying to get her out for some reason, maybe to help him. And, he's in there saying all this stuff to her to keep her quiet so she doesn't say anything, what really happened, possibly. And that is why he's talking her up, saying what a good mother she is.
Possibly.
And what disgusts me is that, they let him go to begin with. I see a lot of this. I had a 4-month-old grandson,
that was killed by the babysitter with fentanyl
Oh, wow.
3 years ago. Yeah, and she walked away free. She got 6 months in jail, and she's out free with her kids. She doesn't have custody of them, but she gets them all the time. So this isn't something new, but it needs to be changed. You know, it's
That is
disgusting
horrible.
and it's sad.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, our justice system, we can clearly see that there's spots in it that are broken. Sometimes we get some real justice, and sometimes bad people just get a free pass. And we gotta make sure the judges that we put into place are good judges and that they're going to do the right things.
Yeah, and see, I think he needs to resign. He needs to step down, or he needs to be fired, because that was uncalled for. I 100%.
Well,
believe that.
they saying
don't
that
think
the
that's
judge, they're saying the judge that is responsible for this is retired, but I'm not positive. I will look into that tomorrow. But his name is George Hernandez, and he was the judge that presided over the child abuse charge allegedly. Like, I'm not positive of that, so I'm saying allegedly. This is what I'm told.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't check the source, so I'm just telling you what I've been told.
Yeah, I just don't get it. How do you know you see that black and white on paper and you still, oh, well, I'm going to let you pass. You just have to go to a class. Like, are you kidding me? A child abuse class at that.
Yeah.
Knowing
Yeah.
everything you did with this little baby.
You go to child abuse classes maybe when you whip your child and they think you did it too bad. And then you go to child abuse classes and learn not to whip your child like that. When you hurt your kid got broken bones, you go to prison.
Exactly. And for him not to, and then look, and like everybody says, if he wasn't in the picture, he would still be alive. Maybe, of course, maybe not.
He wouldn't have been born.
He wouldn't have been born. And maybe, as, some people think that, you get to choose, who you get to be with, who your parents are, or whatever the case may be. He would have maybe had somebody that actually loved him, and it's heartbreaking. And I can't fathom.
Or maybe Rebecca would have
these
found
people
her
do this.
Rebecca might have found her a better man and had a different life.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. Yeah. Because I don't think that it was anything. I think, though, that she was abused. I think she is being abused. I really do.
I do too. I mean, you can look at her face and tell that.
Yeah. And she cowers down to him. I was in an abusive relationship for 18 years. So I know, I see it. But, and people think, oh, well, you can get out of it. It's not that easy. When you are being told that, this person loves you, and, a lot of it has to do with past traumas, why you are in that type of relationship. So you look for that. And, women stay with these men because they think, oh, well, I'm hoping that this person will be that person I met. Well, that person never existed. But in our mind, we believe that we can get that person back.
Yeah.
We can get that same guy back.
Everybody puts
was
on a
great.
show in the beginning because they want you to like them. And then
Exactly.
it starts to slowly come out.
Yep. But I don't believe, though, that she should get off either. She didn't report it. She had a chance to, even when she was in that station. She could have said something. She could have said, look, my life's in danger. I'm scared for my life. Please help me. They would have.
Now, should she be charged?
Away.
Should she be charged with murder or accessory to commit murder?
See, that's hard. See, personally, I believe that she should be charged with murder because, she let this go on. I believe this baby has been abused from day one. So regardless if, she's seen it or, she heard about it, whatever, she did nothing to stop it. So therefore, she should be charged with it too, because she did nothing about it. She didn't act on it. She could have picked up her baby and ran. A day that he was gone, she could have made a phone call. She could have done something. There's ways that you can make phone calls to police without them knowing, that you're on the phone with those type of people, saying ordering a pizza, whatever.
She could have gave that hand signal.
Yes, anything. And she did nothing.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I mean, she's going to have to pay the consequences. I said the same thing in the beginning. Now's the time to talk, because if you don't, then you're involved in it and you're just as much as fault as he is. Now it's time to come out and speak. And she didn't. And she stood beside her man, and now she can stand beside her man in prison.
yep. And I hope they I really wish that they would have the DP there. I really do, for people like this. Like,
Yes.
there needs to be a law that it has to be changed with kids. We have to protect our kids. And, if you're sitting here regardless if it's your child or somebody else's child, and,
I think it's worse when it's your child. I think it's worse when it's your child, because you're supposed to love and protect them, right? If somebody crazy kills your child, that's different. But it's your job to love and protect your child. And when you kill them, I think it's honestly worse than a stranger killing your kid.
Yeah. And you know what the sad thing is? So, like, when my grandson, his name was Dylan, when he passed away, we didn't know the full story of what was going on at all. We was led to believe for quite some time, for almost about a year, that it was he passed away from SIDS. I'm like, I don't think so. And so we were there supporting this girl, which she's, I guess, she's married into the mother's family, so like a cousin type of thing.
Yeah.
So she wanted to go to the funeral, and she was scared. And we were there supporting her, saying, come on, you could come. Nobody's going to say nothing to you. We'll make sure of it. And then right before the service, she blocked everybody, and we didn't know why. Well, after the service, the detective finally, he told us, he's like, well, I told her to block you guys and don't have no contact. And then that's when we found out that she did this to him.
Yeah, that she was on drugs and herself.
Yeah, yeah. And we believe it was she either used a bottle, because he was colicky. So I think she wanted to be high and she wanted him to shut up. So either she put it on his gums directly, or she put some in a bottle, and she didn't realize that, that it could kill. Now, they did argue the reason they let her go is because they said, this is the craziest part, and it infuriates me, is they said that they don't know if even a little tiny amount of fentanyl would kill him. That's what they said. Yep. Wow. They said they could not get anybody to stand on trial and say that fentanyl killed him, when that was the only thing ever in his system. He was not sick, nothing.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. And karma will come back and get her one day. If it's not in this life, she'll at some point she'll pay for what she did.
Oh, and I can't wait. I really do hope I'm there.
Yeah. It something, the world has a weird way of evening itself out. I think, that's why.
Oh yeah. I believe in karma 1000%. I've seen it many times.
Yeah. You put out bad, you get bad. You put out good, you'll get good. Well, you take care, and all right. You have a great night. All right. You be good.
Oh.
All right. Peace. That's a horrible story. And listen, you got to be careful who you leave your kids around. And our justice system, we know, is broken. We just heard from that woman right there with her grandkid. A woman, basically drugged the child, and the child passed away from it. And this woman is walking free. I mean, it goes to Kayla Montgomery. She watched Harmony Montgomery get nothing about it. Didn't report it, nothing. She's walking free. Dolly.
Hey.
Hey.
It's Julia from Missouri.
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing, listening to you.
Okay, cool. You in the right place then.
Like I said in the beginning, I was getting baby Quentin vibes, and I really strongly do feel like he's in the trash. And it happened like a lot, like.
Well, there's rumors that they're searching a landfill. I mean, I don't know. That's just rumors right now.
That's where they should be. That's probably where they should be. Hopefully it wasn't in different landfills. I don't know, because he bought that saw.
Say that one more time.
He bought that saw. They said they got
purchasing
a saw.
Yeah, they went out and got a saw, to saw them. I hope they
So,
do.
I mean,
Dismember
I don't
the
think they'll
child.
ever like completely be found, but so they need to be searching for sure. I don't know.
I think if they're going to do that, they buried this kid somewhere. I don't think they just threw him on the side of the road. But I mean, I could be wrong, and he could just be out there somewhere like that. I don't know. It's a sad situation, and they're going to. I know that they're going to pay for their crimes.
Yeah, I mean,
just
she
make
knew obviously that he was violent. Like, you know, she had to know he was violent. Why would she do her kid like where he was like able to, you know, hurt him? Why would she leave that kid in his hands when she knows that like the dude's nuts? Obviously, you know, hits her.
Yeah, like I believe at this point, even though she's a battered woman, she's going to have to sit in prison with him for the rest of her life.
Okay, there's some chicks out there that like that's what they need. They'll like push a guy to that limit too. You know what I mean? Like that's what they like look for. They get turned on by it. They're like sick.
Yeah, I mean,
true though.
I mean, some women like bad guys, and she seems to know how to pick them. I mean, I don't know how her first husband was, right? But he was kind of surprised, but you know, he hadn't talked to her in years. So I mean, I don't know. Some people, I've seen couples that like to fight, like they just fight to fight, and they good, you know.
Right.
And then there's some couples that fight and they're violent. That's a different type. Some couples argue till they're 80.
They'll fight and like make up.
Yeah. And then but anytime there's violence involved, that you got to get out of them relationships because they're worse. They're going to escalate until somebody's dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True story. So how do you know when a mechanic gets lucky?
Okay, got to keep the jokes clean. What'd you say now?
I know. How do you know when a mechanic gets lucky?
How do you know when a mechanic gets lucky?
Yeah. He has a clean finger.
He has a clean finger.
All right.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Hey, that one that one went over my head. Okay, how do you know when a mechanic gets lucky? He has a clean finger. Yeah. I don't know what. Okay. I don't. Oh, okay. Now I think I get it. Oh Lord. That was bad. Okay. I try to tell her keep it clean. Keep it clean. I guess the finger was clean. I guess that's her version of clean. You know. What do you got to say to that one? Right. That was funny. You like that, Shell Bell? Okay. Anybody else got a joke? Anybody? Any of my constituents out there? All right. Dolly Vision is brought to you by the letter J for jokes. Okay. Jokes are in the chat tonight. Dolly, how do you let Ellie know he was abused? How many kids do they have? Well, Jake and Rebecca have 2. Jake has 2 with another woman. Okay. The older son and the daughter that's bedbound. And Rebecca has 2 grown kids. She has 2 grown kids, 2 little kids, and he has 2 kids. So that's a total of 6 kids, right? 2, 2, and 2. That is 6. Okay. I did graduate high school. So I believe that is a total of 6. She didn't even report the abuse. How can she try to claim it because of the abuse? It can't be proven. Well, it ain't hard to prove abuse. You know, battered women syndrome or Stockholm syndrome is a real thing. Now, if I was her lawyer, which I'm not because I didn't pass the bar, I did go to college, but I didn't go for legal shit. I would argue that she's abused, that she was scared of him. He threatened her life. She has Stockholm syndrome. She has battered wife syndrome. She has 2 black eyes. You can clearly see at the time of this happened, she was being abused. She knew what happened, but she went along with it. Take a plea deal to accessory to murder, disposing of a body, and do 15 years. She'll be out by the time she's What is she, 42 now? She'd be out by the time she's 57 years old. I think sometimes it ain't a lawyer's job. I learned this from OJ's lawyer. He said this. He said, sometimes it's not the lawyer's job to get you off. Okay. Because some crimes are so, they know you did it. There's no doubt about your innocence or guilt, right? Sometimes it's a lawyer's job to get you less time as possible. So you argue and you plead the things of a lesser charge. So that way the court usually wants a plea deal anyway, because they don't want to do a long drawn out trial. It costs the system millions. That's why we've seen Brian Kohlberger. That's why we've seen Stephen Stearns all take deals to life without the possibility of parole. It costs millions of dollars for the state to have these trials. So to save the state money and time, they offer deals. So she may be charged with murder, but she may plead out to accessory to murder and abuse of a corpse. And instead of doing the rest of her life in prison, she may do 15 years in prison. That's the difference between a good attorney and a bad attorney. All right. A good attorney is going to argue the points that I just made to you. A bad attorney is going to be like, she's innocent, right? No, she's not innocent. You don't argue her innocence. You argue her guilt. What role she played. That's what you argue. Because if you go into a court and try to make this woman to be innocent, people are going to call bullshit on you. But if you go in there and say she's guilty, this is what she's done. That's what they did with Michaela Montgomery. They didn't argue her innocence. They argued her guilt, what her involvement was. She stood by. She watched it. She didn't do anything. She was scared. She knew what was happening. She was scared to report it. You can't act like she didn't know, right? She didn't. Then the jury ain't stupid. All they got to do is make somebody feel sorry for her. And that's what you do. You paint the saddest picture ever for an abused woman. She has no criminal record. She never hurt any of her other kids. Now, I ain't her lawyer. I'm just saying what a good lawyer would do. Okay. If she calls up damn Alan Jackson, she's walking. Okay. He's right there in California. You seen he got Karen Reed off in reverse. Okay. Alan Jackson, get your netty, and you're walking. You're walking. Right. Get Turtle Boy out there. You are free to go. I mean, make a big social media campaign out of it, how she's abused, and get all these abused women behind you and fight it like that. And then nobody wants to put an abused woman in prison, right? You got to have a good strategy. I mean, if we're talking the legal system, how do you fight it and how do you win, or not win, but get off with not spending the rest of your life in prison? You're going to need a good defense. You're definitely going to need a good defense. All right, let me open the phone lines back up now that I spit that out. Genius, right? It's Cali though. And that's even more. They like to let you go in Cali. Okay. They're easy on crime in Cali. If you were on the East Coast, shit, you would have a harder time. A lot harder time. On the Dolly, homie.
Dolly.
Yeah.
Hey, you keep up the good work, man. You're doing a great job, man.
I'm trying. I'm trying to do the best I can do.
Tim and Kathy Varner from South Carolina. I want to see if it reach to you.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. You're live with me now.
Oh, wow, that's great, man. Hey, you're doing a good job, man. I believe you'll be number one. You should get you on number one on YouTube. Dolly.
Yeah. I should already be number one. I don't know what the holdup is with these people.
I don't know. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm like I ain't even in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm a contender. I should be fighting for the title right now.
You know what, though? One day, remember this. You're going to be letting them come see you in your show.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like a little thing you go to, like you said, you want to go to it.
You know who RVD is?
RVD.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I watch all them crazy ones.
It's Rod Van Dam. He's a pro wrestler.
Yeah. I know him, man.
You know what his slogan is?
What's that?
The whole damn show. I'm the whole damn show.
Yeah.
I'm the RVD. I'm the whole damn show.
Get you a shirt, man. Get you a shirt. I get one of them. But hey, Robert Gibson with Rock and Roll Express is kin to me.
Are you kidding the Rock and Roll Express?
Well, Gibson.
What is it, Ricky Morton?
Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson.
Yeah, so you didn't think I knew that, did you?
Hey, this is my wife. Let her say something right quick.
All right.
Tell BJ to keep PJ. Yeah, that's right. Tell her.
BJ's asleep.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tell her to keep pushing you till you get to where you're going, because you're going, but you need a little shove, and she's the one to do it.
All right. You be good, my brother. Peace.
You too, man.
All right. Peace. I see some people in the chat room knew who RVD was. Ricky Morton is one of the blonde-haired dudes from the Rock and Roll Express. The Rock and Roll Express I used to watch when I was a kid. I don't know how many of y'all know Miss Ann Horn that comes into the chat, right? When I was a kid, my favorite wrestlers were a tag team, and they were called Wrestler Number 1 and Wrestler Number 2, right? They used to work the Southern Circuit in pro wrestling. Hold on, caller. Hold on. And so this is crazy. This is a crazy story. I'm going to share this with y'all. So Miss Ann told me she used to be a wrestler. And I was at her house in Georgia when I was down there looking for Quentin Simon. And I said, you know, Miss Ann, I grew up here in Georgia and I watched a lot of wrestling. And my favorite wrestlers were like Wrestler Number 1 and Wrestler Number 2. And Miss Ann goes, you ain't going to believe this, Dolly. That's my dad. And I was like, no way, right? Because this was, as a kid, these were my favorite wrestlers. This is who I grew up watching as a little kid. They were like they were like heroes to me as a little kid. So, you know, I'm a grown man, but still that little kid is still there. Like, I was like, oh my God. She's like, come inside. I want to show you something. So I go in Miss Ann's house and she has wrestler number, well, listen, this is how it worked. There was really 3 of them, right? There was wrestler number 1 and wrestler number 2 and wrestler number 3, but they only went by 1 and 2. But when one of them wouldn't make it, 3, which was her dad, would take the place of 1 or 2. So he was like the fill-in, right? Like if one of them couldn't make it to a town or a city, there was actually 3 guys, but they wore masks, so you didn't know anyway, right? But her dad was wrestler number 3. And she had his mask and all his pictures and his wrestling boots and everything. I just thought that was so coincidental and cool to meet, you know, one of my favorite, you know, Miss Ann. Because, and then Miss Ann showed me the pictures of her when she was younger and she was a wrestler. And this is a pretty crazy story, but that all came from the RVD thing. RVD's whole slogan is the whole damn show. Okay. When he shows up, he's the whole show. Nobody else matters, right? That's kind of his thing. You know what I'm saying? He's the whole damn show, RVD. But I thought I'd share that with you. I just thought that was a cool story. All right, phone lines are back open. I got time to take 1 or 2 more calls, and then I'm going to go watch Shameless. Okay, anybody watch Shameless in here? Anybody? Any of my constituents? Dolly. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, this is Stacy. I'm calling from Alabama.
Hey, Stacy, from the Bama. Roll Tide.
That's right. No, I was calling to address a couple of things. As far as like the media, when they were talking about that, I think the problem there is they know with YouTubers and social media, they don't have control. Where they can control, you know, like mainstream media, they have to call and, you know, tell them what they want to be put out there.
Yeah.
For social media and YouTube, y'all are live out there. You know, you can't cover nothing up or anything. And then Rebecca, I think in the beginning we could all tell that he was abusing her. But when you go and start hurting my children, that's where that number draws. Hit on me all you want. You know, that's what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, don't touch my children.
Yeah.
And if she was scared for her life, say he threatened her, if she said anything, she had an out as soon as she got to that police station. She could have built it all there, you know.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So therefore, in my opinion, I think she should be charged with the same thing he's charged with.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. In the end, I think they're going to offer her a deal to testify against him. I think that's how it's going to go. But you're the district attorney. He said he doesn't plan on offering any deals.
Right. Well, let's say if they did, or if they have offered her something, if she had any type of remorse, or if she was any kind of a mother, she would, I mean, first of all, she wouldn't even be in that position. She would have already said something. But I just had that in front. So, but that's all. And I thank you for taking my call.
Not a problem. You good? Have a great night.
You're so great. You too. Thank you.
All right, peace. Okay, let me answer this question for this person that added. It said, Dolly, before you bail, any tips on equipment for streaming desktop? Do you use Elgato Stream Deck? Okay, to answer your question, Keystone Pirate, I do not. I used to, when I first started streaming, I used to use an Elgato box for my camera. Now I use a Canon T5. I've used it for years. It's not the best camera I got, but it's the camera I use. It plugs straight into my computer. I have a really good computer, the best graphic card you can get. Well, at the time, it was the best one you could get, but still, it's still top of the line to this day. I've had this computer right now for about 3 years, but still, it's pretty top of the damn line. It's an i9, great sound card, great processor, and I run my camera straight into the computer. I use Canon, and a virtual camera on Canon. Then I set up Streamlabs. I set up my backgrounds and everything I want to use, and my tickers and everything right there in Streamlabs. And then I open up StreamYard so I can pull up your comments like this, because I kind of like that. So this is the reason I pay for StreamYard. And if I want to bring up guests on the live, which I rarely do anymore. So I run everything pretty straight. Now, I do have a Go XLR mixer, digital mixer, that runs, of course, my Shure Studio mic. So all my stuff is pretty, as far as audio, is top of the line. Good sound card, good mixer, good mic, good stand. Camera, I use a budget-friendly camera, right? It ain't nothing crazy. It ain't nothing you can't afford. It's a Canon. You could probably get one for about $400. Okay. And then, like I said, Streamlabs is, I think, $20 a month. StreamYard is $80 a month. All right. So that's one of my biggest expenses. That's this StreamYard. The only reason I use it is so I can pull these comments up right here. And I stream to multiple platforms. I stream to YouTube, and I also stream to Facebook, multiple Facebook accounts, my personal account and my Dolly Vision account. But I can stream up to 8 different locations simultaneously. So basic camera, Canon, nothing crazy. Really good computer, really good mixer, really good mic. And like I said, I use Streamlabs, I use OBS Streamlabs. I don't use OBS. OBS is free. Now, I could use OBS, right? But, you know, when you sub up and it waves, I like that feature, and that feature is only on Streamlabs. So I use that. I like helping people that are trying to stream. It's just one of those things I enjoy when people ask those type of questions. So for a basic budget, now you don't got to have nothing fancy like this, like the Shure mics, and you can do it with a Blue Yeti, which is about $69. That's how I started. I slowly built everything I have, my studio, the lights, the green screens, the monitors. I started on an iPhone 5 years ago. I just a basic iPhone 5. Believe it or not, I got more plays off that iPhone 5 than I have any of this studio shit. I had videos go viral. I'm talking about in the millions, talking about alternate realities and Mandela effects and things like that. Just hugely viral videos. One of my videos ended up on CNN. Okay. That's how viral it went. In 3 days, it was in the millions of views. Okay. So you don't need much. You just need good content. That's it. If you bring good stuff that people want to hear about to YouTube and you got a nice thumbnail and you do that, you can do it. But I would say if you're starting off, get you a Blue Yeti microphone, right? It's powered. Plug it into your computer. They sound good. Sounds just as good as this. There ain't no damn difference. I don't think anyway. Shit might sound better. But this is hundreds of dollars, and I mean, I got $1,500 that's sitting right there. You don't need all that. I mean, a decent camera, like I said, $399. You can find that camera used, that Canon T5. Wait, no, I got a T7, and T7 a little bit more. Okay, so it's probably about $300 used, and I bought that used. I bought it from a guy. He said he used it to take pictures at a wedding. Never used it again. I bought it for $300. So $369 in a decent computer, and you're ready to rock and roll. And you don't got to have fancy lights like I got. I got pretty fancy lights. They're LED. They're what the media uses to news people. They're battery powered or they're plug in, and they're like 100 LED strips. There's 2 of them, but I only use 1 of them. I actually, beside me, I have a grow light from when I used to grow. I use that. I mean, you just need light. You need not bright. You need like white light, not bright light, if that makes sense to you. And you can use multiple things. You can buy your little can lights at Lowe's and go to the fabric store like Joann's and buy you a big green piece of material, put it behind you, set your lights up, play with OBS because it's free, and you'll be rocking and rolling for like I said, $360-$70. It ain't $400 budget. I could build you a studio that looked absolutely great and sounded great at $400. Now my studio is in the thousands of dollars, but it's just me upgrading little steps at a time. I don't know why I'm talking in this mic. This is my mic right here, right? But yeah, like I said, you don't need all that. Like I said, all you need is your phone. If you're going to do live streams, most of my views come from my iPhone. What do I got? An iPhone 14 now? But at the time I had an iPhone 5. So you don't need much. What you need is to be creative and talk about things people want to hear. That's the best advice I could give you. I hope that made sense. And if you need any help, just reach out to me in an email and I'll give you any advice you want to need in setting up green screens. And I don't really make videos like that, but could I make videos on it? Absolutely. I'm pretty good at it. I've gotten really good at editing and green screening and all kinds of stuff. So I got a lot of tips in there. Not many people ask me for those types of tips, but if you want to do these things, these are all things you're going to need to know how to do, and you'll get better at it as time goes. And I'm about to upgrade, believe it or not, I'm about to upgrade even more here to my studio, as far as the stream decks and all that. Do you really need that? Don't waste money on things you don't need. Get better things that you do need. That's what I would suggest to you. Don't waste any money. If you're going to upgrade on the things you really need. Your camera, your sound card, your microphone. And if you got all of those, and decent lights, you're going to have some decent lights. If you plan on green screening, if you don't plan on green screening, you can get away with damn near any lights, right? But if you want a green screen, you're going to need some decent lights. So, but my email, just ask one of my mods, they'll give it to you. And, I'm sure I could help you set it up, especially if you got a camera and I can show you what to do. Anyway, guys, y'all have been great. I'm going to get ready to get out of here, go watch some TV, snack on some chips and all that good stuff. Keep praying for this baby, right? keep praying that they find them and there's justice for them. That's the most important thing. Right now, we're on phase 2, and the phase 2 is find this baby. Phase 3 will be making sure these people get prosecuted. And like I said, when it comes time for them to get sentenced or to be found guilty, I'm going to fly back out to California for as much of it as I can afford, okay? Depending on how my finances are, because I just paid a shit ton of taxes today. Oh, my God, my bank account is on Uncle Sam. Oh, my Lord. All right? Oh, my God, I hate taxes. And I still owe property taxes, right? This was just my business taxes for the channel. Oh, my God, did they hit me upside the head. I could not believe it. Time YouTube takes a cut, Uncle Sam takes a cut, they leave you with crumbs. Oh my God. Right. And I still got to pay my house taxes. It's depressing is what it is. Right. So depending on my finances, that's, we'll see where we're at when that time comes. And because I want to be there for the end. I was there for the beginning of this and I want to be there for the end of it. You have to pay taxes tomorrow. Oh my God. It is so bad. Oh my God. But now I've set up the corporation. This is a lot of information, but one of the reasons I set up the corporation is one, I need it to be legit so I can get media passes, all that with my media company. But it'll save me in taxes. Okay. It saves you in taxes to have a corporation. You pay less taxes if you own a corporation than you do personal taxes. Like if they hit you with a 1040. Oh my God. So next year, my taxes won't be as bad as they were this year. Uncle Sam punched me right in the face. Okay. I mean, I was depressed. I was like, oh my God. It takes my breath away. It just hurts my soul that they take that much from people. And some people in this world get the free ride. And the little bit I got, y'all going to take like that. Like, damn. Damn. I don't even know what to say. It's that depressing, but I'm trying not to, it's paid. I got food in the refrigerator. I got a half a tea left. Hold on, let me check. Nope, that's empty. I'm at F now. But Uncle Sam got me good today. He whipped my ass. Okay. I took a good old tax beat down today, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse, At least I had the money to pay it. And, damn. All right, you guys have a great night. Dolly loves you. Even though I'm broke. Peace.